Did you seriously think you could somehow change the world from here?
Yeah, sort of at first.
And? How do you feel about it now?
I'm not blazing with satisfaction or anything. But the truth is, it all ended for me the instant I shared my memories with you. At that point, when my work was done, I figured that you'd probably be able to run with it from there.
You're a hell of a liar, kid. I clearly recall you didn't want me involved.
I'm sorry, but the minute you share and synchronize all your information, you lose your uniqueness and become absorbed into the unconscious maliciousness of a third party that has no motive, or perhaps into the will of someone who does have one.
Are those your words based on what you've gained from hard-earned experience?
Yes, and the fact is, you yourself play the role of a laughing man copycat as well.
Well, I have to admit it was a fascinating phenomenon. At any rate, what was your underlying reason for triggering such a huge event in the first place?
To you, everything that's happening in the world appears phony to be something other than what it is, right?
Is that JD's challenge?
Yes. When it comes to cyberization, I'm pretty much the shining example of a poster boy. So you'd think at the very least I would have felt terrified at the thought of contracting cyberbrain sclerosis. I'll tell you, it was a simple piece of mail I stumbled across in the net that began this whole thing. What I found was a blackmail document that had probably been sent to Serrano Genomics. It was armed with a thesis that was a comparative study of the inadequacy of Serrano micromachines versus the effectiveness of the Pervs vaccine.
Then the original lagging man was the person who authored it.
You could put it like that, I suppose. I am the machine that reveals the world to you as only I alone am able to see it.
Ziga, he was a Russian filmmaker, wasn't he?
Yes. I was kidding myself by thinking it was my personal mission to prove and circulate that information, vital data I alone could happen upon.
Failing spectacularly, the pure innocent mediator proved dejected at the base nature of the social system and he turned mute.
Yes, it was because of that I became a vanishing mediator. Just like an author whose existence is emphasized with the fact that he rarely puts out any new works for publication. In other words, by disappearing with an axis of the social system, our sociological theory, it ultimately vanishes, leaving no trace of its presence inside or outside the system.
Frederick Jameson, I believe.
Yes, and no. Masachi Osawa too. Even though I was familiar with the words, I didn't believe it until I saw it with my own eyes. Who knew that copies could still be produced despite the absence of an original? If you had to give a name to this phenomenon, what would you label it?
It would be standalone complex.
Yes, it's the standalone complex. From the start, the very nature of our current social system has contained mechanisms to trigger such an amazing occurrence. Personally, however, I feel this marks the beginning of a new era of despair. What's your opinion?
I don't know. It's impossible for me to say. Although I have found one thing capable of restoring your individuality after all your information has been synchronized.
Oh, really? And what's that?
Everyday human curiosity.
You're right. You know, that's something that never occurred to me. I think my brain has already started to harden.
In this park they play, they let the pigeons stay, they give them names and feed them bread. They live in Philadelphia. You have no chance, old man, your queen is cornered, I say, shoo the bird off the board. Don't need your cane for this job, whoa. Click your heels, dance, dance, grab a girl, dance, dance, and don't remind me.
Just while I'm here, dance, dance. Welcome everybody to Slim's Q&A, Body Mod Q&A.
Dance, 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 feed the birds, dance, dance, and don't remind me while I'm here, dance, dance. You're out of breath, I see. You need a rest, maybe? A lost in the night. Let's tear the lid off this thing. One last step will go. One last dip and that's it. I've got more people to see. My friends, it breaks my heart.
Whoa.
Click your heels, dance, dance. Grab a girl, dance, dance. And don't remind me while I'm here, dance, dance. Clap your hands, dance, dance. Feed the birds, dance, dance. And don't remind me while I'm here, dance, dance. Move through the grass on your hands and your knees. These sticks change, my old friend.
Now times change, don't they?
Float through the air, let your heart carry you up, up and up. Let's lay you down.
Click your heels, dance, dance, feed the bird, dance, dance, but don't remind me.
While I'm here, dance, dance. Clap your hands, dance, dance. Feed the birds, dance, dance. And don't remind me while I'm here, dance, dance.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, folks. Here we are. Oh, I need to stop that music from playing so it's not in my ear. And then I need to begin looking up the videos for today, tonight, wherever you are in the universe. I put up a thingy-mabobber. God, I hate seeing myself this close. I put up a thingy-mabobber poll. So everybody go in there and let us know what you were more interested in us talking about. We're going to get to a lot of subjects. I'm bringing in the rest of the people's is so I don't have to look at myself that huge. We'll be going over how tattoos work, why they work, how body piercings work, or the modern version of how to do body piercings. Tattoo ink may be poisonous. We are trying to get the FDA to be involved in letting us regulate tattoo inks, and especially figure out who you're buying from. If it is not approved in the Americas or in the country that you're in, probably don't get tattooed by that type of ink. And again, we'll talk about it. We've got a handful of other things we're going to talk about as well, with body modifications. We're going to go over some of the worst body piercings that should not be done, but people are getting them done, and why they are horrible and what they do to the body to make it so they're not good for the body. Like mouth piercings, the studs, they stick out and they poke your teeth, so they wear away the enamel on your teeth, and they will chip them. If I got hit in the face, I would lose teeth because of how much metal is in the front of my mouth. So we're going to go over when you should and shouldn't, and how to weigh in on whether you should get that body modification or not, and if the person is professional or not. And that's why I really wanted to go over this, was to let people safely understand how to modify their body. And like, maybe we're going to even talk about like gender reassignment or other things that you can go to another country and get, like in Brazil or South America and other places, and how safe or non-safe that is. We're going to try to go over. So don't get your boob job done in a foreign country unless you actually have a reputable physician that is doing the procedure. And tonight we're not going to go over body modification fails exactly, but we will do that in the future. We'll go over what went wrong when people got modified the wrong way. So, you have something to say, Brandon?
Well, I'm actually quite surprised that there is no regulation for tattoo ink.
There technically is. I believe there is FDA approved tattoo inks. If I'm wrong, we will figure that out really fast. I thought there were, and I believed at the time before I saw all these articles coming out, because there's been a handful, and mainly I think this is happening in the Europes right now, and I think it's in the UK that they're having problems with some of their inks. I'm not gonna pigeonhole why there is a problem or where the problem is. We need to think about it worldwide. So I'm not, but we'll look in this article to see exactly where they're doing a bunch of research and realizing, oh crap, there might be these types of metals in it. And this morning I found out there was we're going to look at it. I don't know the company who came out with the research, but they're actually saying you may be getting metal poisoning from the tattoo needles, leaving metal inside your body.
Now, is it a certain company? Like, is there a name of the company that the ink is made by?
No. So when I don't want to have any spoilers, but there's technically two colors of ink that they've just always made them that way. And so almost everybody has made their inks this way. And they think that there may be carcinogens in the substance they're using to make the inks.
Okay.
Maybe we didn't know it wasn't a carcinogen before, but recently we figured out, oh, this type of this potentially could be causing cancer. Same with the needles leaving small flakes of metals inside of you, or microscopic shavings of metal. So we're going to go over a couple things like that, just so everybody knows if it's safe or not. And again, we're just giving you partial information, and I'm not 100% about this. I think the YouTube channel that made the thing about the metal going into you from the needles, I don't know how reputable they are. So we're going to do a little bit of research in them as well. It may be a fake thing. It may be misinformation. But I wanted us to go over it so that we're being non-prejudiced and trying to talk about all the different reasons why or why not to. Not everybody should get modified. If you have a immune system disorder, most likely you shouldn't get modified. Not to like say, don't, but if you have certain skin disorders, you want to find somebody who knows how to tattoo on those type of skin disorders or with them. Things like that.
Don't get modified if you're not completely insane. Oh.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, you must have at least some sort of mental disorder before you go and get modified.
And speaking of that, Devil, don't go get modified when you're fucked up. If you are not thinking about getting that modification and you're fucked up with your friends and they want to go and get modified in some way, shape, or form, don't.
Well, not just that, but if you're drunk or on any type of opiate, it messes with the blood, and you should not get modified when you're like that.
No, exactly. and I would guess like at least give it at least a month after it pops into your head. At least think about it at least a month, preferably longer. I would guess.
Or just do a tiny bit of research into what it takes to heal, the process. Who you're going to go to, then make the appointment, and the appointment usually isn't that day. I mean, you can do walk-ins, but make an appointment for a week from then. Let your brain contemplate you actually getting it, because the whole week before you get modified, your brain is going over, are we going to do this? Should we do this? You go through the process of, it's kind of like buying a gun. There's the 3-day waiting period. So that if you just wanted to buy one to like take out your neighbor, hopefully 3 days from then you're like, oh, I probably shouldn't kill Amy.
I shouldn't do this.
Yeah. There's a cooling off
so
period.
Annoying that you can't wait to get the gun.
Sure.
And then he probably deserves it.
In Minecraft. But yes, go in and talk to the person and make sure you know them or get to know them a little bit before you let them tattoo a whole sleeve on you or something like that. Going in to get a small little tiny little piercing, as long as it's at a piercing shop, and we're going to go over the 5 or 7 places to not get body pierced at because of how unsafe and how like non-clean they are and how they use the wrong equipment. So right now it looks like we're at 50-50. Tats are 50 and body mods are 50. Piercings are at 0. So I'm going to. We'll go to library first. The first thing that I would like to do while we're waiting for that is to go over my Instagrams of me getting modified.
Technically, piercings and tattoos are body mods, aren't they?
And yeah, I know that we're not, people didn't want to see anything about piercings, but if you notice, I had to take my eyebrow rings out because they were starting to hurt really bad. Like they were getting swollen and hurting.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and I've had my eyebrows done for years.
And just now it started irritating? Oh.
Well, I don't know if it's because I went so long, without having them in, that it's just kind of the initial introduction of the, rings back into my skin. But they were getting really swollen and starting to hurt. And so I was like, yeah, they need to come out.
I also think you had in like huge rings, and they were getting a lot more moving and play than if they would have been small little barbells. But
I think so too. That's why I have on my Amazon wish list. I want to get the it's like 200 body piercing rings.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It's like all different sizes and all different shapes and everything like that. So I really want to get those.
All right. So I am almost. I forgot I gave the cop the finger. We do these conventions. Oh, I'll show it. So you can't flip off a cop, obviously, right?
Sure you can.
Sure.
Why don't you fast enough?
Yeah.
You can. I mean, they're gonna have something to say about it, but they can't do anything about it. They can't arrest you just for flipping them off.
That is a border thing. They could say that you're causing a nuisance. There's a couple little things where they may be able to do something, especially if you're talking shit still. So, anyways.
Yeah, but if you're not talking shit or doing anything wrong and you just flip them off.
Technically,
that is insulting an officer.
Yeah, there could be little loophole laws where they may be able to get you on something, or it doesn't matter. The police could still arrest you. You go in front of the judge and he drops it. The cop can still fuck. So really quick before we get further, I forgot to do this. Besides saying hello to Queen and Brainless, y'all are doing good, right? Yeah.
We're good. We're good.
Okay, sweet. Anyways, let's say hello to the side chat. Super Ghost, hello.
Hey, Ghosty.
We got the Mark Short.
Hey,
Marky.
Hi, Mark.
We got the Demon.
We
Demon.
got the Jasper.
Hi, Jasper.
We got the Mama.
Hi, Mom.
Where's Mama's first one?
Mama. Oh, Mama.
We'll just go to.
Go it out.
I thought she had one that said hello, but whatever. So the police can arrest you for other reasons, though, if they really want. Yeah, exactly. They can make up a reason. They can definitely. But yeah, they technically.
I believe over here they can. That's insulting an officer.
Yeah, I believe in certain counties and certain states and certain places that technically could go under something, and they technically could.
A friend of mine literally went on a high-speed chase to a donut shop with a cop chasing him. When they pulled him over, when they finally caught up with him at the donut shop, they asked him, "Why were you running from us?" He said, "I just wanted to beat you to the last jelly donuts." They arrested him. They didn't charge him with the high-speed chase or the fleeing. They charged him with assaulting an officer.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How they do that?
That's what they charged him with, because he said, "I wanted to beat you to the last jelly donut."
That was freaking pretty good, though.
Because he used the word beat?
Maybe.
Okay, so this is when I do these motorcycle conventions and tattoo conventions at this location. This cop is freaking awesome to me. We hate bad cops. We love good cops. And this is one of the gentlemen who was freaking an awesome police officer. And
please don't say that, because now you're starting to sound like ass homo.
No, well, I know, but police are corrupt. There is crazy shit, and that's why we go over it and talk about it. Yeah, and the organizations and there's police gangs.
Hey, it's almost like they're human.
Almost. So, anyways,
are you serious, Mark? Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, I had that up earlier.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane.
So I make these little itty bitty skull middle fingers, and that's what I'm holding up in the middle of my chest. It's kind of hard to see, but I think most of you have kind of seen what I make. So I actually gave this to the police officer. So I gave him the finger. I literally gave him the finger. Cheese and rice. Okay, so let's see. One of the first things that we are going to show is, I believe this may be the first.
Oh, and people, go check out his shorts. They're funny as fuck.
Yes. Okay, so it looks like we'll start with.
What a freak.
We'll start with this one.
Who is this? What a freak.
Yeah. Okay, so there's me getting my ribs tattooed.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey, Canadian.
Like, I already know the ribs is extremely painful.
Yeah, that was no fun at all. And then this is what it ended up looking like right after she got done.
That was pretty cool.
I think that was just the first session. We did 2 more sessions. 1 more session after that. That was the second session.
Super bright at the time.
Yeah, this is the second session because she already did all this. So this was the second part, and then she filled in all of that, which we'll probably see later.
Up, baby. We got a Canadian in the chat.
Kick him.
Hey, Ollie.
Somebody kick him. No, I'm just blame Canada. No, I'm just kidding.
Bend over, I'll kick you. Or maybe I won't kick, but do something else. Oh, never mind.
Blame Canada. No, I'm just kidding. We're just messing with everyone.
Baby, you said that enough when we were in Niagara Falls.
I know. I was yelling it across Niagara Falls. I'm like, blame Canada. It was so.
And there were so many Canadians around us that were looking at him. I'm like, oh god, we're gonna get murdered.
They're like, oh, what are you talking about, eh?
They're probably. My apologies.
I'm sorry.
I didn't.
They're
know
like, oh, I'm sorry, eh? I didn't mean to bother you.
Mila, hi, sweetheart.
You're right. How is everyone?
Good.
We're good.
Little demon asleep, Angel.
Sort of. She's in bed.
Okay.
Just got my spawny baby to bed.
So, this is an act that I have been working on trying to bring to stage, but it hasn't come to fruition yet, but it will be happening soon. So let me click on it and I'll explain. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a hypodermic needle, I'm putting it through my skin, and then I'm squirting the colored water through it to make a water fountain effect, or to make myself a water fountain.
Oh, okay.
So this was just proof of concept, but I'll be doing it through a larger amount of skin. And I was being very careful about how much I pushed the injector because I was not sure how this works, because I've tapped veins, we've squirted blood out of hypodermic needles, and we've done all kinds of weird stuff. So I wasn't sure how this works just going through the skin. And I was weary because I know if I get any oxygen or air molecules in my body, it could, air bubbles, it could be very, very dangerous.
The air bubble, most people think it takes like 1 air bubble for the problem. Yeah. Actually, the air bubble it takes is like a good 3-4 centimeter air bubble.
Okay.
Yeah,
in an IV tube, it's a large amount.
I have seen, being around addicts, I have seen people that had air bubbles in it and they just put it right in their vein and it didn't do anything to them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but the air bubble can cause the
and I'm sure you could probably rub it out
associate it with.
Yeah, you could always just push it out.
Yeah, the air bubble that most people associate with the issue is like, murderers using a air bubble to kill someone in hospital and the IV drip and everything. Actually, it takes a quite large amount because it needs to take a whole pump of.
Yeah, it would take an entire syringe of
5
air.
cc's.
Yeah, it would take an entire syringe of air.
Yeah, Mark's saying it's 5 cc's, which is quite a bit.
Okay. Let's maybe we can like look that up.
You should risk it though, you know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, don't risk it.
But Sim, have you heard of the donut heads?
Yes.
That would be visually amazing for that concept as well.
If you want to find a small short video on them, I had them saved somewhere, but I don't remember where. We can look at that in a minute because we are going to go over like horrible body modification. So
you could literally have someone pay to be the person to push the hole in the middle to make it the donut. Like,
so I'm working on a thing right now where I'm trying to turn myself into a human water fountain through piercings. So what I want to do is I want to be able to pierce these tube through me in a lot larger, with a lot more skin in between. This was just proof of concept. And then hooking it up to a water fountain and pushing colored water through my body. Making myself essentially a human water fountain.
Have a small hose running through your body?
Yeah. So once again, this is just proof of concept. I did it through a very, very tiny bit of skin just to show what I was thinking of when I was beginning to do this. Eventually, I'll be putting that on stage, and I will become the human water fountain with 8 or 6 different hoses coming out of my body, and then hooking up to a water pump and pumping water through me. So here is me getting.
You do have to perform that in Amsterdam, I think.
Yeah. So this is one of my microchip implants. So there is a pre-injector. It's preloaded with the microchip. He just puts it in me. He just closes it. And it pushes it inside. And then he just holds it down and pulls it out. And so that's how my microchips were implanted. So there's one of them. And then this is how it works. You take your phone. And the NFC reader finds the website. You open it and it goes to my website. So that's how that microchip works.
That is fun though.
And let's see, when is the next? This one is my LED being implanted.
Oh, that is way too close up. If you haven't noticed, I don't like needles.
I hated needles as well in the beginning. And what happened is he didn't stick it in enough, so it kind of almost came out, but he pushed it back in. It was an easy thing. It was not a difficult. And then this is it working. So if you see the white, the light blinking, there's a white light blinking. That's the LED responding off the NFC reader in that phone. And that is why it's blinking. So that's what that is.
So it takes power from the NFC signal.
My friend who has a hearse was able to get a hold of these books from like the early 1900s. The stuff in there was freaking insane, like the technology they had that they were using at the time. And then these are all my Instagrams of me doing crazy shit, obviously. So this is me getting my silicone implants. So that's just the bead. He pushes it under the skin, puts it where it's supposed to be, and goes like that, and then we'll just suture it closed. So after that, he just sutures it. Here's my LED and microchip implant in my arm. And it's just that easy.
For some reason, like here you can see it doesn't go deep. Like if you'd like have a needle for an injection or something, it goes deep.
Yeah.
This does not go that deep. So this seems less invasive to me.
So the little red LED is what's blinking, and that's what's in that microchip that I have in my arm. It has a red LED with an NFC reader that goes to my PayPal. And then my glow-in-the-dark star implant.
Speaking of PayPal, Phila.
So that little glowing thing was the glow-in-the-dark star. It didn't glow very much. Nowadays, it glows a shit ton more.
And that is safe glow-in-the-dark material?
Technically, it is. There is questions about if the glow-in-the-dark stuff starts dissipating in your body after many years, but I'm probably already gonna die from something else besides that, so I'm not really worried about it. So here's my temperature sensor implant that they put in my armpit. If there's anybody in the side chat who has any questions about anything, if anybody's looking at the side chat, let me know and we'll go ahead and answer them. I'm not looking at the side chat right now. So there's the temperature sensor, same thing, and it's in a preloaded injector, and you just put it in and you hold it, and that's done. Here's the magnet implant in the side of my hand. Oh, you know what I didn't find was the video of me getting my tongue split. Crap. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sorry about that. Just, no.
I'll find that later.
I've always found it very interesting.
Yeah.
And that and also the fact that at that point you can move it separately. But yeah, no, that is. Yeah, that okay. I think that is definitely too much for me.
It doesn't show very much. So this is the scanner. You turn it on, you put it up to it, and it says my temperature. It's off by 3 degrees, so it's 3 degrees lower than what your body temperature is. So that says 95.9 Fahrenheit. It actually is 98, so it's 3 off. But that comes with a manual that tells you that, and so you just have to add 3 more degrees to the temperature. I don't know why it's off by that. It was something with the glass bead that it's in or something like that. But since you know that, then you can just calculate if your temperature is going up or down.
Now, since it's in a glass bead, can that break inside you?
Slim, go down. Show that poster.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, the one that beauty. I've got a frame for it now. I just gotta figure out where to put it.
Sweet. So I still have these posters. The large one's 50, the small one's 30. So if anybody wants any of these posters, and I will send you stickers with it as well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful poster, guys. And you're helping out a cool dude. Yeah.
And here's me getting my vaccine. So there's the photo of that.
That needle. that needle goes deep.
Yeah.
Babe, since that temperature thing is in a glass bead, can it break inside of you?
So it is rated to get hit really, really hard and not break because it's structurally sound by being so small. But if I got into a car accident or something like that, then most likely some of them may break. But at that point in time, I'm going to have glass and metal in me anyways, so it really doesn't matter. So I can hit them and they can get punched, or I've bashed the crap out of all of them, and they're still okay. And so they're rated for high temperature hitting, or I don't know how to put that correctly, but yeah.
High impact. What you doing to your face there? What you doing to your face there?
Okay, so this is me getting my dermal, subdermal implant.
Oh yeah, here we can see that it's hurting you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you're right next to your eye is not fun.
Then why the fuck you do it?
So I can be cool.
You're already cool.
Because that's my love. He is absolutely crazy.
I am completely insane. So what he did is he cut a little hole, and then he put the subdermal implant in. I wish I could have got a better angle, but it's really hard to do this by yourself, with yourself and.
Okay, babe, Harry, I don't know if you've seen what Harry said. He read an article about a guy who got an RFID implanted in his hand and can unlock his house and start his car with it.
Yes. The Teslas have a wireless or whatever device, and you can get it hooked up to that. So,
is it possible for the chips that you have, the RFIDs?
Probably because like
open
every
the house
RFID,
and stuff like that, like hook up to a smart house.
Got a serial number, and you could probably read that out and use that.
Right now, there's specific coding for those keys. So you have to get an RFID, well, actually an NFC that goes with those devices.
Okay.
So there is like a Tesla key that you can buy. It's not from Tesla, but it mimics the Tesla key. And then there's another one that mimics the wireless door locks as well. Okay. They just have a little bit more information that they can store. Mine pretty much can store I have technically I have 666 bits of information that I could put in this microchip. It's more like 500, but I like saying 666 bits of information I can put in there. So 500 zeros and ones I can put into this one.
So
this one.
So obviously it would have to be like a smart home or something, right? In order for him to unlock his house like that.
Yeah. It's just the wireless lock.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be the whole house. Like you can buy.
No, just the wireless door lock.
Yeah. So there are like doors that. Door locks, door handles that you can buy that are effectively like hotel rooms now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And like the little thing that you wave over the hotel room with the card to bib it open. Same thing, that's for contactless, things like this. So you can use it to unlock a home.
Yeah.
I'd be a little worried about that because
homes.
Like
and also
people can get into your house if it malfunctions.
Airbnb, that's it. Airbnb made it very popular, along with having keypad locks on your door. So you just give the people the keypad to do it, or they get a thing on their phone, because normally you unlock them with your phone. Mm-hmm. They get a message, and then after their time's gone, their code for that they have on their phone no longer works on the front door, and a new one's generated.
Yeah.
Really cool.
The door locks and the car locks and stuff have a really intricate type of way that it has string the numbers.
Because I would definitely be worried about like it malfunctioning and then anybody can get into your house.
There hasn't been very much study or proof or anything like that there's malfunctions with that. The thing you really need to worry about is how easy it is to open up your garage door.
Yeah, no kidding.
That too, but RFID is quite easy to hack. I've seen a video on that on the.
It matters how encrypted it is. Nowadays, everything's triple encrypted. So if it's open source and it's open, it's really fucking easy. But all of my microchips are triple encrypted.
Yeah, no, but like
also,
with your stuff, it's not. If somebody would get into that, it's not that big of a problem. But like with you, and that's the NFC. But there is, but
the thing is though,
RFID
like
things.
For the houses and stuff, it's going to be protected. They will have done it very good, but at the end of the day, if someone wants to get into that house, they will get into it. They will find a way. They would have hired someone to specifically code something to open that door. They will smash a window. They will do what it takes to get into that home if they want to get in there, if it's worth it. Most of the times, though, they see these smart electronic doors and they're like, shit.
Yeah, Modern Rogue.
They've got the electronic door. They've got fucking cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point trying because it is so hard to get away with it at that point because evidence everywhere. Too difficult. It's unlikely. You'll get away with it.
And as
so they're going to hit somewhere that's not so protected.
Yeah, and as of right now, there is like encryptions on things like that. So they're not open source, so they're not open. So it is difficult to clone that and use it. I'm sure there will be a way in the future, but as of right now, it's...
About RFID, if you're curious how easy it is, I put a link to a Modern Rogue video. How old is that? That is from January 2020. And like they show how fucking easy it is to hack that if you are slightly determined.
If there's no encryption, if there's no encrypting inside of it as well, because that's the other thing. That's 2 years old.
No, even if it is Slim, there is hackers are just one step behind.
Oh yeah.
So if you buy something now,
the thing is, you remember who's making all this shit is hackers. This is the government, or there's not real companies doing all this stuff. It's hackers that are making all this stuff. So they're already making it so you can't get into these things. Maybe the ones that are used for key cards and stuff, sure, maybe. But the ones in my hand, there's all kinds of fun things that they've put into place to make it so you shouldn't be able to get into them. I will definitely look into that and see, and we will talk about that in the near future if there is problems with those like that, because I want to get the information out. So we'll definitely look into that and check it out. But anyways, let's get back to the subject at hand. So here's me getting some tattoos. My circuitry tattooed on my arm. And I didn't know we were already this high up on things. I feel like I missed a couple things, but oh well, it doesn't really matter. My leg tattooed.
Who is XD?
XD.
Where?
In the site
right
chat.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
From their comment, probably.
Oh, I know. I believe they've been around. I just don't know. They may be not a troller, but somebody who's having fun with us.
That's a very
whoever they are, they only have 29 subscribers and no content. So
okay, well, if they say anything other than
because,
yeah.
Well, it's difficult. Nazi Germany actually brought us a lot of extreme medical breakthroughs. However, how they got it was in the most disgusting and inhumane fucking way possible. That breaks not only the actual medical code, but most people's ethical codes as well.
Yeah, and like, hey, if it wasn't for Nazi Germany, they wouldn't be trying another launch on Friday. Because rocket science, that started there, basically. It took off there, pun intended.
It's unfortunate because
those
fuckers actually did give us some breakthroughs, and I don't like to admit that, but I do benefit from.
You give credit where it's due.
Not just that, I've had treatment because of certain things that were done to the people in the concentration camps, the experimentation they went through. Like, we all have actually benefited medically because of what happened in Nazi Germany.
Yeah, I think most people.
It's sad, but again, it's difficult because they did. Yeah,
it is. Knowing that
a lot benefited
medically from somebody's pain, that's really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's like people say, oh, war is good for nothing. Well, it is good for one thing: scientific and technological advance. That's what it's good for. That's the only thing it's good for.
And boosting the American economy.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. America, fuck yeah.
All right, so here is one of the next implants that I would like to get.
Okay.
I think it's
just... What you got, motherfucker?
I should be able to hook up my bank account to this so I can do wireless payments.
That was already on road in the suggestions.
This is a Flex Next. It is a 41mm diameter implantable biopolymer device.
Slip music down a bit.
It has an NTAG 216, a T5577 125 kilohertz, and you can get it with an optional set or array of LEDs. And you can see LEDs light up quite nicely. And also you can see the range that we're getting.
That's a lot of range, yeah.
The NTAG 216. But the range is equally impressive with the T5577. You can see that blinking there, that's indicating a read. And quite a good amount of range. So it's so good, actually, that I can place...
So you can put it on your hand, and make it work.
Even with it
and it goes through your hand even.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can get it implanted in your hand,
on
the top of your hand, and then you can just swipe your palm, and you're gonna freaking get it to do the wireless payment.
That is awesome.
Or be like 6 inches away from the wireless payment and just swipe your hand. And it works exactly like your phone or any other thing. And
that's awesome. I should get one and put my Cash App on it.
yeah. So that's what I'm about ready to get. As soon as I can pay for one of these, I'm going to be getting this and having it implanted. And the cool thing is I'm going to have it implanted under my dying molecule or whatever, on the virus that's on the top of my hand, that little circle. I'm going to get it implanted under there, so it will go under that little thing.
People, first time you're going to be paying with that at certain place, people will freak the fuck out.
I can't wait. It's going to be so fun to do that.
And like this is like actually something like
it is inside of a sterilization pouch.
Okay, so that's pretty much. So there is that version that I believe you can get your. It may be this one. It may be something else. Right now, there's not a price under this one. This one is the Tesla Flex key card. So this is the Tesla Flex key card implant. So you get this implanted in your hand, and then you can walk up to your Tesla and you put it in a spot to where when you open up your door, as soon as you grab the door handle, it unlocks it for you and you open it up. This one, I think it's this one is the one that you use for your doors. And then this one may be for wireless payment, but this is the one that actually is wallet payment implant. And let's see if it's available in the Americas. Nope. I don't know if it is, but it's in England. Oh, it's not there anymore. Oh, shit. Do they not have it anymore? No, it's right there. Huh, that was weird. Oh, it's actually in American dollars now. So I can get it now. So what you do is you download the app and you activate your device once it's implanted in you. Well, I guess you do it before, but whatever. I get it installed first, and then you implant it, and then you're able to. So this is how it works.
Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you how wallet or implant works in real life. After ordering a drink, food, or any other product, all you need to do is tap in your hand to the payment terminal. Forget about the cash, card, or even a smartphone. All you need is your hand. Walletmore implants are biosafe, secure.
So, I mean, that's pretty much the skinny of it.
How does it link? Is it like you put with your app, you put money on the chip?
No, you use the app to put your bank information to make it wireless.
Okay.
And then your bank account is hooked up to it, so it just goes. It's just like a debit card, or your phone, the way that your phone does it.
Okay. So basically the same as what I got in my card. Okay. In my bank.
Yeah. It's just like the same as there's multiple different things that act like the wireless payment device, whatever.
Well, it's just NFC, so.
Yeah, exactly. But did you see how long range that one was? That's insane. Like you can be like this, this far away and be like, boop, and go later. Have a good day. Although I do believe that you have to do a signature, you have to put in a pin. I do believe there is a second step that you have to do because they're trying to be safe with it. They don't want somehow people making a clone of yours, which again, it's triple encrypted. So it's hard to make a clone. And to get a clone, you literally have to like hold it there and let the clone maker find all the information and download it. It's different when you swipe it because it's just giving it a millisecond signal. But if you were to clone it, it has to sit there for like a minute to take all the information and then turn it into something and read all of the bits. So that's why it's hard for somebody to steal your information unless they knock you out, take you to an alley, and then take a clone reader and like put it on your body.
Slim, they don't need to knock you out because they just have to wait until the end of the party.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, yes. That's the only thing. But like, with the card I've got on my phone, for my bank, that also works. But just every now and then, it will ask for for the code that just goes with the card.
Yeah.
You have to put in the code.
Yeah, and that's true, Harry. You can make it non-read write. So you can make it just readable, and you can lock a microchip as well. So you are correct. Yeah. There is a way to lock.
If it is write protected, that means somebody cannot change your card.
Yeah.
You can still read everything off of it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's true.
But it might also include the chip serial number, and you need really specific illegal hardware to copy that, because that is a thing you cannot just with your phone. I can clone every kind of thing with it, but with my phone.
Yeah.
But you cannot that serial number that's within there. You cannot clone that.
Yeah. There you go. So once again, it's semi-safe. It's pretty much the same as what they're using in other things, phones and cards, key cards, things like that.
But Harry, even watch that video that I posted earlier. Even that is possible to come to get by a rolling code.
To come by? Come on? Never mind. So
yes, I also miss Cookie Slim.
Me too. So it looks like we're 60% body mods, 40% tattoos, and 0% piercings. So we're gonna go ahead, give you like 20 more seconds if you want to put in. Thank you everybody for all the thumbs ups. I'm going to run and grab a beer, and I will be right back, and then we will go over whatever subject that was the top of the poll. And if anybody has any questions in the side chat, please go ahead and give them. I'm trying to read all your stuff, XD, but with the current tech, I feel like the pictures you showed, it's kind of a big, bulky device. Don't we have a tech that allows very small microchips to accomplish the same thing. No, that's pretty much is the smallest size that you can get these things, because size does matter, and microchips are only at a certain size right now. Same with the antenna that's put in, and all the other functional things need to have.
Yeah, and the LED.
Yeah, and so that's as small as we can get right now. In 10 years, 20 years, maybe. The government may have things that are a little bit smaller, but size does matter. And when you're talking about microchips and circuits can only be small
definitely.
right now. Okay,
and people, if you got a question, Slim can't always look at the screen, so tag one of the other hosts so we can.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like the idea of nanobots and shit like that, like these tiny little things in our body that's the size of a grain, like smaller than a grain of rice.
Yeah.
That's not really going to happen at the moment, because we can get our technology very small, but we still need it big enough for certain things. Like it needs to be big enough that it is locatable. If it moves, then if it's too small, it will move, and then we'll lose it around the body. And what, you're going to start wiggling like your whole body over the card payment terminal? Like, sorry, I just got to find out where it is today. Hang on. Ooh, it's in my nutsacks right now.
And one of the other things is, if you looked at how small that thing was that we just showed you with the 3 LEDs, and that was small as fuck. Like, I mean, that was pretty fucking small.
I think by small, he doesn't mean thin. It's the width of it.
Well,
imagine it being like
yeah, I get. Yeah,
it's flat, but it's also not that big of a disc. Like,
no, I thought that was very reasonable. It was big enough that the LEDs were going to look really cool. So it has that satisfying lights on it,
and
also visible. It's locatable.
Yeah, and the reason why the disc was so big is to give more surface area, because all of that clear stuff was just a silicon or your body is not going to react to it. And the reason why that was so big is so that it can anchor itself into the body as much as possible and stay there forever, and it won't try to wander in the body. Even though it's very rare that happens, it just made it so that disc is going to stay exactly where you put it. The body's going to hold on to it and grow around it and make this nice little home for it, where if you made it smaller and then
it might wander. Yeah.
Well,
but like, what was that? That was like 2 inches, 5 centimeters. Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I can see,
they're pretty tiny comparatively. 10 years ago, when I was looking into this, or longer than that, there were these huge things that people were trying to implant in themselves. One dude implanted a hard drive in his chest right here, and it fucking rejected, and he had fucking all these problems. There's another dude who implanted a huge fucking hard drive in his arm right here, and it was sticking out like this far, and he had problems with his muscles and skin stretching that much, and the body not being able to take that stretching in that part of the body. You know, certain parts of, let's just say, the woman's body is made to stretch for getting pregnant. Not all skin, dermal layers are supposed to stretch in that way. You mean the thing when he put it up his nose and he pulled out the thing through the palm and the fingers thing? I don't remember that 100%. I remember the implant he had in his nostril that he had to pull out with a weird reacher thingy mabobber. Do you remember that, Brainless? What they're talking about?
Yeah, that has been a while.
That's one of my favorite movies, is fucking Total Recall, because it's like a mind fuck. And there's a 3-boobed lady in it. I mean, where else are you going to see a 3-titted lady? Okay, so we're at body mods, 55%, 45 tat, and 0 piercing. So we're going to go ahead and end the poll. Thank you all for entering the poll. I already did.
Oh. He said not the Arnold Total Recall, the new one.
Oh, I have not seen that one.
Is there a new one?
Yeah,
is that on the Flakes? Is that on the Flakes? Just a question.
Yeah, where can we watch the new one?
Right.
Otherwise, probably on the linky that I got somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. One of these days I'll watch that. I am kind of not wanting to because I don't want to ruin the original. You know what I'm saying? So, but I will eventually watch it.
It's got Colin Farrell in it. Yeah, I'm not watching it.
Okay.
Why not?
Well,
I'm not a huge fan of Colin Farrell, so
if the story is good, I don't fucking care who's in it.
yeah, but most movies he's in are just stupid and horrible. So
all right. So I know this says body modifications is what we were talking about, and I know this says taking their tattoos too far, but this is actually body modifications. All these people have modified their bodies and not just their tattoos. So here we go with 7 people that have gotten crazy modifications.
Body modifications. Tattoos from head to toe, spikes on their heads, and even some with inked eyeballs. And so we're back today looking at 6 people who took their tattoos and body modifications too far. Number 6, Calica's Skull. This individual has had an extreme love for skeletons ever since he was a little kid. So much so that now in his later years,
I'm just gonna go back to here so we can get kind of an idea. He's got silicone implants in the sides of his head, in his forehead, his eyebrows. He had his nose cut off, the outer. I don't know how to put it. You obviously can tell what's going on.
He's trying to be a skull.
Yeah, he's completely because he's got the skull like.
That's crazy.
And then he's got his eyes blacked out. He has the black. This is not makeup. That is actually tattooing. And then he has his ears chopped off as well, just like he had his nose done. I believe he has a chin implant because see how it's off.
So he was very much trying to make his real face the stereotypical silhouette of a skull.
Yeah, and cheeks. I think he's in South America. Is that what they said? He's in South America. So I believe it has something to do with De los Mortes. So he wanted to make himself into a skull like they celebrate during that festival. And so that's why he went with the traditional.
And, what's the name of the female deity for it?
I do not remember that. But let's listen to hear.
She's the one that a lot of gang cartel members pray to.
Yeah.
Lady Death or something.
Yeah. I know the image that you're speaking of because I can see it in my head, but I can't. So let's see where this gentleman is from because I believe that's why.
Looking at 6 people who took their tattoos and body modifications.
It says, never mind.
Number 6, Calica's Skull. This individual has had an extreme love for skeletons ever since he was a little kid. So much so that now in his later years, his entire goal is to transform himself to look like a living skull. Calica, whose first name is Eric, began with getting tattoos on his body. From there, the ink crept onto his face.
Yeah, so I believe he's in Mexico or South America.
His eyes and nose, completely blacked out, similar to.
Oh, damn it. Okay, I have to go back to this. Did you see what's in the middle of his forehead?
Oh, an extra eye.
Yes.
No, isn't that like a band? Isn't that a band symbol? What is that symbol?
No, that is a symbol for like Leviathan or something. Okay. It is also like a universal symbol that did by body modders for like transition and change and this sort of thing.
Okay.
So a lot of people's modifications get that tattooed on them because it's like the transition of themselves and it's become a bit of a
I'll have to look that up because I thought it was something else. But okay, thank you for knowing that.
It may have been used by a band, but I know I see a lot of people modded for it, and it's in one of my demonology books as a actual symbol of a.
Yeah, it's the Leviathan cross.
That's it. Thank you.
Which is the
the infinity symbol may also be used to represent a point at infinity, especially when when there is only one such point under consideration. Let's see, hang on. Okay, here it is. The Leviathan cross is sometimes referred to the cross of Satan, which means the Satan's cross. Depicted on the bottom is the infinity sign, and above stupid freaking ads.
Okay.
Hang on.
I think I've got the same article.
And above is a double cross. So
and then okay.
Yeah.
The double cross symbolizes protection and balance between persons. The infinity sign underlines the constant and infinite nature and most likely symbolizes the eternal universe. Okay. This may have been used by Anton LaVey in the Satanic Bible as a mockery of the cross to show that humans are their own centrum of balance and truth.
Well, this is what the
ideology of Anton LaVey and the followers of the Church of Satan believe, and this is what the symbol represents in this association.
Okay. I'm glad I asked because I was not sure about that symbol, and I've seen it a lot of places, and I wasn't sure.
I've seen it with a lot of body modders.
Yeah, me too. So XD asks, why would one want to look like this? The easiest answer is some of us have body dysmorphia and turning ourselves into a different creature, like many of the people in our scene, either being transgender, trans species, all of that fun stuff. It's where we feel more comfortable in our skin, turning ourselves into these beings that we see inside of our own skull, maybe to represent that out to everybody. And obviously this is not to attract certain women. Unfortunately, we are fetishized by certain people, and it does become something weird sometimes. Not everybody, like my babe, I'm sure she's not just into me because of my modded, but that does become a weird thing that we do notice, that you become like a fetishization with somebody. I have had that happen many of times where I'm like, no, I'm not sleeping with you because you just want me because I'm fucking modified.
Right.
All right. Let's keep blowing on. And then obviously his tattoos are all in Spanish. So that was my other inclination, that he is probably in Mexico or South America, which I guess is the same difference. I don't know. South of us.
Mexico Central.
First name is Eric.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, yeah.
Began with getting tattoos on his body. From there, the ink crept onto his face, with the most noticeable ones being around his eyes and nose, completely blacked out, similar to how a skull would look. Oh, and let's not forget the skeleton tattoos around his mouth. Now, things only got more extreme when he tattooed his eyeballs jet black and split his tongue in half. However, in order to complete that skeleton look, he had to do something really wild. Because you see, skeletons don't have ears, so he figured neither should he. But they also don't have a nose either, and I know you already guessed it, he ended up removing that as well. This makes Calico the first person ever in Colombia to get rid of his ears and nose permanently. Okay. And though he gets a ton of flack for removing his nose, he claims he didn't do it to spite his face. Apparently, this modification holds a significant meaning for him. Number 5, Cain Mortis. Cain has spent almost 2 decades trying to transform himself into the spitting image of the devil. I've never seen this person. And in 2014, he was dubbed the 3rd most modified person in all of Latin America. This sort of change to his body was a way for him to get away from the conventional look. He thinks the devil is the most beautiful and perfect angel ever created. And so he tattooed his body from head to toe, got a ton of piercings, fully blacked out the portion around his eyes, and inked his eyeballs black to look more sinister. But it didn't stop there, because in order to enhance his appearance even more, Cain modified his nose to point more downward, while reshaping his ears in order to make them look sharper. However, his most
he's got the ear pointing style that I hate. Go back a minute.
Yeah. I'm in agreement.
So this version is where they just fold the existing top of the ear over.
Yeah,
and
it's
stick
disgusting.
it together, which leaves it with a weird pocket.
Yeah.
And it looks weird. There is a much better way where they actually deconstruct the top of your ear, stitch it back together.
Right.
And make it pointed. They cut a bit of your cartilage away and everything, which actually makes it look naturally pointed once it's healed. And as long as it heals well.
Yeah, this does not look natural, indeed.
No, this looks like it's stuck. It looks like it's got glue and stuck it down.
Right.
Like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. His nose, that's definitely a cool modification.
Yeah.
But
I think he looks cool.
disgusting.
I do think it looks
It's
cool.
a shame because he has put so much effort into his look. And then
that he ruined
it's like the cut rate version when you could have got it done so much. Maybe they're not available to do it where he lives that way though. You know, I don't know, but
some of this footage looks kind of old. I don't know if the quality, but so this may be a 10-year-old video, and he's just going over this gentleman. And I've never seen this gentleman, which is weird because I usually know most of the modified people in the world. And through the research I do, I usually come across them really easy, or they find me on the socials of the medias now. I literally have like modified people coming to me and adding me and talking to me when they find me. So I don't know how old this is, but let's keep going. The only thing about this gentleman is you don't want to have a cocaine party with him.
Harper. However, his most noticeable modifications are his subdermal implants. He has a bunch of massive ones on his forehead to resemble devil horns, and a few on his cheeks and arms.
Seems
now,
like
ever
it's
since
old.
his extreme change, his Catholic family has fully disowned him.
I wonder
and
why.
He's moved from Colombia to Mexico, where people are a bit more tolerant of his looks. Number 4, Zombie Punk. Zombie Punk has spent over $11,000 modifying himself to look more like a zombie. He has a huge colorful mohawk that makes him stand out, a bunch of piercings on his face, 3/4 of his body tattooed, a split tongue, which he says was the most painful modification he's had done, and his favorite one, the skeleton-like tattoos around his mouth, nose, and one of his eyes. Now, to complete that zombie look, he's gone.
That's why I always wanted to ask you, how bad did that hurt?
This one looks cool, by the way.
My pause game's on it today. Hey, Darcy.
Yeah, you are.
Hey, Darcy.
How bad did that hurt, babe?
So, if I'm remembering correctly, and I did want to find the video because it actually doesn't show me. It just shows me going into shock. Pretty much is what the video shows.
Well, that should tell you something about the pain.
Yeah.
Right.
The scalpel that my body modifier used was from Japan, and it was laser cut scalpel. So it was the cleanest scalpel that you can buy.
Okay.
Maybe the public can buy. I don't know if there's a difference between the medical field and the public for those things, but he got the sharpest scalpel he could get his hands on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll show you in a second, XD. He had his assistant standing between my legs with 2 hemostats holding my tongue, and then my body modifier stood like over him, and he took 3 slices with the scalpel, and I barely felt a burn. But the thing is, my subconscious knew that a major organ or a huge part of my body was, because like right after that, my body, my whole being changed. Like I felt like a new awakening. I felt a new existence. Like I was birthed out of my old shell into a new shell. Almost, it felt like. Not a lot of pain, still no pain, but my consciousness went through a crazy experience. Like I got shot into another universe to some extent for a second, and then kind of brought back into reality because of what the body is going through.
The lizard you came more to the front.
Yeah. I bled a bucket of blood. They put stuff in. They put gauze in between my tongue, and we held it there, and then take it out, and we put more in, and it didn't hurt a bunch, but it definitely messed with your body. Your body knew that some shit was going down. Healing the next 2 months hurt like a mud. I mean, like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, every morning there had to have been a ton of swelling and.
Well, every morning you have to wake up, and what I began doing is I began putting stuff in between my tongue when I slept. But every morning you wake up, you have to re-split your tongue open. Yeah, so every morning you literally go into the bathroom and you go over a sink and you split your tongue and blood comes pouring out of your mouth for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
How do you do that with eating?
Did they like stitch it?
No, I did not have any suturing, or I did not have cauterization done, which I suggest everybody gets done one or the other. I would suggest cauterization, but
right.
I didn't. When I got home, I took a drink of water and I bled another bucket of blood. So I began to drink from a straw, and I just put the straw down my throat and I just sucked it down. So I wasn't touching my tongue. I couldn't eat solid foods for 2 weeks, maybe. And then the first night that I was eating solid food, my housemate decided to make spaghetti. So I almost died eating spaghetti.
I'm sure.
Because a whole bunch of it wrapped around one side of my tongue, and I swallowed, and it was just like it was stuck on my tongue. And so I'm like, ugh! And so I had to like reach in my throat and pull out spaghetti. And it was like, fuck. And so now I cut up spaghetti. If anybody watches me eat spaghetti in front of them, they'll notice now, even today, I still cut up all of my noodles and eat them, just because that experience was so bad. I almost like choked to death eating spaghetti.
See, I know there had to been a ton of swelling, because that's doing like major like damage to your tongue. And just piercing my tongue was swollen for like a week.
Yeah. My tongue was like the whole size of my mouth. I mean, you can't actually close your mouth. I was drooling all the time. Anything you did, I was drooling for fucking a month straight, pretty much.
About tongue piercing, I say. So when I was 15, 16, I took my best friend to get his tongue pierced, right? Now, he's a big lad. He was a rugby player, really good actually. He was getting a scholarship to some uni for the rugby team. So, he's a pretty big, tough guy, right?
Yeah.
Gets his tongue pierced. The piercer goes like, all right. Like, he's done. He's come back to me and said, all right, he's done. I'm giving him a minute before he stands up. We hear him get off the chair, and then...
Bam. Yep.
He collapsed. He fainted. His body, from just getting the tongue piercing, just dropped. Like, the trauma of it is like a shock. The adrenaline rush goes and drops. And once the adrenaline leaves your body that quickly, you will just plop.
Yeah. That happened
to
one of my friends.
I didn't pass out or anything from it, but
I didn't either.
But you're women.
My tongue was swollen like crazy for the rest of the freaking
week. And he just hurt with a bit of this, and it kind of hurt like this.
Only eating ice cream and drinking milkshakes.
Yeah.
Speaking of ice cream, I'm hungry. I'm about to go get some. I will be right back.
Yeah. I'm sure
I had friends that passed out after
that. Always make sure you eat and drink at least like an hour, 2 hours before you go. Never go to a tattoo or piercing appointment hungry, dehydrated, drunk, or hungover.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just
your body's got to be in a good situation.
Body's
got to be good to handle, because it is trauma that you're gonna subdue your body to. So
exactly. Okay, I almost found that, but we'll keep playing this, and then I'll find.
Slim, you need to show XD your tongue.
Nice.
So Slim, full screen for a second. XD wanted to see.
I don't have a photo of. Okay, I thought I had video of my tongue getting split, but I guess it isn't on here. Yeah, I'll do that in just a second. That's weird.
But like this guy, it looks cool. I'm not saying I would do it.
Yeah.
I like his look.
Yeah, it's.
Okay, I'll have to show everybody. Oh, that.
Where's noise?
Okay, let's keep going with this for a second.
Tattooed one of his eyeballs jet black.
Hold on. We'll do this right quick. And I can pretty much do what I want with my tongue, because sometimes it's weird to look at it and then try to do that, because my brain it's bass backwards. So if I'm not looking at it, I can totally do it easily.
Well, when you're down there, you got your eyes closed and enjoying the feeling.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Slim's wild.
Okay, so here we go.
Gets him a ton of attention.
Yes.
Which he says he loves. In fact, it's actually turned him into a local celebrity, because in Camden Town, UK, people from all over come by just to see him. And in case you're wondering what he does for work, well, he walks around all day holding up a sign, charging people $1 for a picture. Hey, say what you want, but I respect that.
That's good.
Number 3, Renato de Santa. This Brazilian rapper / tattoo artist has 65%.
What's really crazy is, like, I don't know who most of these people are. Oh, I know who he is now. Okay, he just got this done. He just got some of these things done, because I know him by these parts.
Of his body covered in ink, including the majority of his face. Renato likes looking like a demon, so after he got his first tattoo at the age of 18, he spent over 12,000 euros to enhance his looks further. He has silicone implants in his forehead and arms, a split tongue, expansion of his ears, the tattooing of his eyeballs, and transdermal implants on top of his head. But one of the more extreme things he's done was reshape his ears to look like bat wings.
And if you thought
that was something, well, there's more. Renato also had the side of his mouth peeled, similar to the Joker. However, this one was inspired by the Japanese legend of Kuchisake Onna, who had a slit on her mouth from ear to ear. He says his look isn't meant to be scary at all, and according to him, some women actually like it. They have this sort of thing for this kind of appearance. Number 2, Wilson Santos, aka Dark Virus. Wilson's journey began at the age of 16 when he got his mother's name tattooed on him and had his first piercing. From there, the piercing spread all over his face, with the holes in his nose and bottom lip expanding. His earlobes, on the other hand, stretch out to reach 55 millimeters. His body was then 70% covered in tattoos, and at the age of 25, he decided to take things to the next level by going more extreme with his modifications. Wilson started adding subdermal implants in his head, tattooed his eyeballs black, and split his tongue, saying these enhancements were the best thing to happen to him, because he's been able to further his career and is recognized widely in the tattoo and body modification scene. I don't like the dermals on
the implants on his forehead. Not because they look bad, because they're fucking wonky.
Yeah,
I just want to like zhuzh them straight up, and I know they're not going to move, but I'm just I want to go up to him and go like, push it up.
So, yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about body subdermal implants like that is they don't always stay exactly where they're supposed to. Like, half of my implants in my arms are not exactly where they're supposed to be, but the ones in my arms right now aren't like visible 100%. But if you rub my arms, then you can feel all of them, and that's mainly what it is now. Is not 100% to stick out, but to have people just rub my arm and be like, "What the fuck?" Because I'm gonna have to get huge freaking beads to get in there to make them pop up the way that I want. So these are gonna have to be taken out, and I'm gonna have to get new ones put in, larger ones put in. If I would have known that they were just going to sink into the skin and they weren't going to pop up, I would have gotten such larger ones. But unfortunately, you don't know that until you start putting things in and you're like, oh, that's how this works.
Future plans, however, get a little bit more tense. He says he wants to add 3 transdermal implants onto his head and tattoo his tongue black. Wilson then wants to up the stakes by adding implants to his private. And to add on to that, for some reason, he wants to get rid of one of his fingers. Number 1, Fernando Franco de Oliveira.
Damn.
Listen, I know what you're thinking. He's probably giving you flashbacks of the Black Alien Project or Diablo Prado. But I can assure you, this is someone completely different. Fernando began his journey in 2006.
Dude, can you imagine inking out your face that black?
He did put on a bit of weight.
Yeah, he did. Fuck, dude, that's insane how much blackout he has on his face. I know there's 2 other dudes that did the exact same thing, but it amazes me. Blacking out is like the most painful way to get tattooed because they have to saturate the fuck out of the opposite color of your skin, which is black on basically a white. So, goddamn, that's a lot of fucking hours getting inked.
By tattooing the majority of his body from head to toe. Everything from the neck down is inked in color, while his entire face and head is completely blacked out. As he started spiraling further and deeper into the body modification rabbit hole, he ended up stretching out his earlobes, then went ahead and tattooed his eyeballs black. Fernando also added subdermal implants in his head, similar to having horns, and replaced his teeth with sharp metal dentures. Now, remember how I said earlier he expanded his earlobes? Well, he later removed and reshaped portions of it in order to resemble an orc. And not only that, but he also split his tongue in half. However, none of this was enough for him, as he completely removed his nose. I have a feeling a lot of people in the comment sections are gonna say this guy's never gonna get a job again. But that's actually not the case. And that's because he pretty much owns his own tattoo studio. Not to mention, Fernando is the main attraction in his own shop.
Yeah, we don't need to show any more of it. Yeah, that's one thing that people don't realize is like, you can get a job becoming a modded person as long as you know how to market yourself and you know how to make money off doing it. That's kind of like, for me, the more modified I am, the more money that I can ask for doing shows. So let me look
career-wise, you do need to think about it too.
Yeah, of course.
Doggo! Yeah. Who's the good boy?
Hey, dog.
There's a good boy.
Okay, let's look up something right quick.
Well, 2 good boys, because there's also a wolfie.
Let me see if this actually shows it. No, they just talk about it. Sure. Okay, I don't want to hear the audio for this. Hold on. Okay, so here is how you ink someone's eyes. Please, ladies and gentlemen, folks, nobody ever get this done unless you go to a professional body modifier that has been doing it for a gazillion years, has a portfolio of it working over and over again, and they've never blinded anybody.
And they're okay with you, like, that their clients would recommend them, that, yeah. I don't know, sometimes some of them will let you know, hey, can I talk to one of the people that you did this to?
Yeah, you can definitely ask to talk to people, or you look at their portfolio and you find a name or two on like an Instagram, of that person, and then you go there and you ask them. So don't just get any body modification. We're going to talk about that in just a second.
Do your own research.
You need to do your research. And as well, someone could have amazing reviews, right? A tattoo parlor, a piercing parlor can have amazing reviews, right? Where I got my first tattoo, amazing reviews. It is still one of the best tattoo shops in the area, right? However, they had a dickhead leasing the chair, right?
Yeah.
The tattoo parlor, great. That one person in the parlor, not great. And I unfortunately got tattooed by him. He changed my tattoo while I was sat in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't watching, so I didn't notice. Right? Just because the shop has a good reputation doesn't mean all the people in there are great. Make sure you check the individual people's reputation as well, and even the best person with a good reputation. If you feel something's not right, run.
Yes, exactly. Build a relationship with your body modifier, especially if they're doing something other than just normal modifications, piercings, or tattoos. So really quick, so this is what
a trust thing.
Definitely, it's just like
I would never recommend though getting the eyes tattooed.
No, and we're going to talk about it in a second. And why I'm showing this is I want to show how dangerous this is, and why anybody should not be trying to do this. Same with getting your tongue split in a backyard barbecue while you're all drunk.
Oh God, Slim, have you seen the stories of how people are doing it now on TikTok and shit?
Yeah. What? So that's one of the stories I'm kind of going over is this beautiful young lady, 19-year-old. She was at a backyard barbecue, and some gentleman said he would split her tongue with a rusty razor. So she got it done. She comes into the shop a week later because it's all fucked up. I was in the shop hanging out with my friends, and she shows us her tongue, and it's like a zigzag, like a lightning bolt.
Oh.
And it's starting to get infected. So my friend, he had to cut all those jags out, and he had to reshape it. So he literally had to cut both sides, recutting it. So she had to go through like 20 minutes of him like cutting out her freaking tongue to make it straight. So if you get it done the first time, it's going to suck, but it's not going to suck as bad as if you have to have somebody fix it.
Yeah. No, it's really bad, Slim.
If you don't lose your tongue in the process or anything like that.
Like, I've actually, since we're on the subject of eye tattoos, I've actually seen videos of guys doing it in prison.
Yeah, it's a prison thing. There's a handful of other ways that I've seen it being done, which is very unprofessional. If you're in prison, do not get your tongue split. Do not get your eyes inked like this. And or if you don't use your own urine in the ink to get tattooed in prison, and you don't see the bottle of ink, don't get tattooed. Somebody used urine to make your ink, and it was usually theirs. And the reason why they do that, well, I mean, you have to, but most tattoo artists won't tell you that they use that, is because they want to put their pee inside of you. They want to look at your tattoo and go, yo, dude, my fucking piss is inside that motherfucker. Yeah.
So gross.
Like, there's this big thing going on TikTok where people are putting things on like they're piercing themselves, right? DIY piercing tutorial. There are a lot of DIY tongue splitting tutorials.
Yes.
That involve piercing your tongue and dental floss or fishing wire.
Oh my god!
And they tell you to
tie it up.
The fishing wire, put it through the tongue piercing, and tie it up, and get it slowly ripped through your tongue.
Oh my god, Bila, can you please stop talking about this?
Yeah,
oh my god.
And they're talking about over days. This is dangerous.
Yeah,
oh
really quick. that has been an old way to do that for a long time. That was one of the first ways I was taught or told to split my own tongue 10 years ago. No, of course not.
Please.
Nobody out there do that. It does not cause a straight line. You can cause infection. You can there's a lot of things that are wrong with that. Yeah, there's a lot of things.
So many people that end up in intensive care in A&E because of a severe infection, right?
Yeah.
You have massive, like, are they veins or arteries in your tongue? I swear it's like an artery.
My body modifier, he lifted up my tongue multiple times and showed and looked at the arteries and looked at the veins, and he said, I can go this way, I can go that. He took a fucking black light and he took a regular light and he kept shining it on there while he was drawing on the line to make sure that he was like, if you fucking cut an artery, you're fucking
bleed to death.
Yeah,
having this done. That artery, how close to your heart? Imagine your tongue, right? This isn't like getting an infection in your foot where it has a lot of time before the infection spreads to your chest area, and once the infection's close enough to your heart, you will die. Right? That infection is now spread around your entire body. Your tongue is so close to your heart.
And what about your brain? What about your brain?
Yeah.
That's close as well.
Yeah. So, once again, you keep reiterating, make sure you go to a professional, look at their portfolio, get to know them, make sure that you feel secure with them. Just like if you were to go to a dungeon and find a dominatrix or somebody and you were the sub or you were the bottom, you want to feel safe with the person who's going to be putting you through those process to go through the different kinks. You want to be comfortable. So make sure you're comfortable with the person who's doing it. So really quick, this is why you should not get your...
dating the dungeon master.
Exactly. So this is why you should not get your eyeball inked, and this is how they actually do it. If somebody said they're going to take a tattoo machine and tattoo your eyeball, fucking run, because it's not done by that. It is actually done by being injected into the eyeball. So here we go.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So you'll take a hypodermic needle and fill it with ink.
Fuck is stupid enough to let somebody put a needle in your fucking eye.
Well, eventually I will get my eyes inked, but I'm gonna go to Steve Hayworth or Von Cyborg. I'm not gonna have it done by anybody. I'm gonna pay probably $1,000 each eye to get them done eventually in a couple years. So
that shit looks so damn painful.
I have heard it's not painful at all because your eyes don't have certain nerve endings in that part of the eye. But then I've heard that it hurts really bad. Like, so I don't know whether...
Imagine, it drives you crazy if you get an eyelash in your eye. Yeah. And it hurts like hell. How would that not... Oh, my God.
Because the eyelash, it's your eyelid that it is irritating, not your eyeball.
Yeah. It's the back of your eyelid.
Look how that just bubbled up. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's putting too much in. He should be putting micro amounts comparatively. That's a lot. He put a little bit too much in there.
Oh my God.
So I do think sometimes it does look good, but yeah.
People do not trust people that do that like that. If you see that they've done that like that before, do not get it done by them. That looks horrible.
Well, at least it's not the eye implants.
What? Eye implants?
Yeah, when they put the little like star or little heart in your eye.
So they cut the fine line, layer of skin, like, so what they've injected the ink under is in between the actual eyeball and this fine layer of membrane. So they cut into the membrane and they put this metal implant in the eye, and then it heals over, and you've got a piece of metal under the membrane of your eyeball. And I think they are really dumb. Like eyelid piercing dumb.
Yeah, it causes irritation under the eyelid, and it can move, and it can make you blind eventually, or it can whatever. There's lots of problems with those little thingy-mabobbers, and you should not get those little implants done in your eye. Okay, I thought that I had.
There's another question from XD for you, Slim.
Okay. Oh, I have a video of me tattooing myself. Let me find that right quick.
Video of Slim being a dumbass.
Yes, exactly. You should not tattoo yourself unless you were trained or... Well, I'll show the video first of me once I got my nose tattooed. We'll show that right quick. So here, as after I got my nose and under my eye tattooed. Let me get back over here. And where's the question? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that Aku from Samurai Jack?
The demon on my arm right here? Because it's just a regular One. So if you're speaking about that, it's just a regular One. Well, I'm glad. My body hates blue ink for some reason. But we used a darker ink just to see how that happened. And you can't see the blowout on the ridge of my nose that happened a little bit later, right after they took this photo. Here's me getting my face tattooed. There's that. Then here is me tattooing myself. That's the skull on the top of my leg. And at that point, I was tattooing the star eyeball on the side of my leg. Oh, you don't need... Oh, this is the tattoo I did on somebody's hand. I tattooed that on his hand. So if you look at these little things, they're Wolverine holes for where the Wolverine claws come out. I did not do those. Those were already there, so I had to tattoo around them, and I made it so it kind of fit into the here. He didn't want me to go over it, unfortunately, so I had to go around it. But I tattooed that on somebody's hand, and I think it's pretty decent for. And it was supposed to look jagged and kind of screwed up, but I think that all the lines are pretty clean. That one's a little screwed, but most of these lines are actually pretty good. And when it healed,
but I think that actually looks good on this.
It actually looks more like the comic book style as opposed to a very perfect and neat tattoo.
Yeah,
it looks like I would see in the actual like Joker comic books. I could see him having a smiley laugh like that in an actual comic book.
It's the Joker. Real. It's the Joker smile on his hand from the movie, and I copied it kind of as close as possible. And he wanted to be more comical. That's why I made these teeth look all like weirdly screwed up. Oh, I blew out that is blowing out as crap. I fucked that shit up right there. I'll admit it. That is fucked. But the rest of it is pretty fucking clean.
I like the way you've done the teeth on it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why I did it like that. It
looks really cool. It actually, the teeth make it, I think, because having that weird angle, that different perspective, it does show the demented type of laugh it is.
So this is me.
That's not what they're made for.
I'm a vibrator holder. That's how bored I was at the fucking porn store.
I mean,
just like...
Slim, I knew you were a dickhead, but seriously,
yeah, exactly. Let's see if there's any more. No, I guess there's me doing like a stomach
Grant sub to us. Yay. Thank you, Grant. I didn't say us, you. Grant sub to you.
Thank you. Let's see if there's any more. Oh, there's my ball gagged gimp for Friday the 13th that I got tattooed on the front of my leg. I have this on the back of my leg, and so it's a skull, but it's also a naked female bent backwards.
Oh yeah.
So it's two images in one. I'm gonna get another one like that on the other back of my leg, but when I actually get back to that tattoo artist, she's gonna do a couple other things on me first, and then I need to go and get I'm gonna get a pony head, 2 pony heads under my butt cheeks. One's gonna be hot pink and one's gonna be hot purple. Because my friend draws these like death ponies, My Little Ponies that are like skulls and shit. So I'm gonna have
cool.
one of those, do them under my butt cheeks.
I'd love to see some of those drawings.
So there's me getting those 9 piercings in my chest by Anthony Scott at that one show. You can kind of... Oh, here we go. There's them all in my chest. It was hard to see, I know, but yeah, so I've done... So there's my tongue split. Yeah, you don't need to show me doing that. That's okay.
No.
And then we already showed that. We showed that.
You are a weirdo.
That's the third session or something like that. Yeah. So that's what it looks like now, because she filled in all of this part and a bunch of other things. So it's finished. That's what it looks like finished.
That's cool.
There's me lifting a keg from my ears.
Yeah, and then he was complaining that he had to hold 2 beers.
Yeah. I should have had a 6-pack. It would have been funnier with a 6-pack. And
it would have been impressive with a 6-pack.
Yeah. I should have done a 6-pack for sure.
There's some stapling.
Yeah, and then where was it? I let people staple money to me. So I'm getting my butt cheek stapled. I think we showed that one. We showed all of those, I think. Yeah, okay. That's it.
Has another comment for you, Slim.
Okay.
Because I know you're not seeing the side chat, so I'm keeping an eye on them.
We're going to go ahead and look at this one right now. Yes, I totally remember Ripley's Believe It or Not. My mom actually worked at the Ripley's Believe It or Not in Estes Park in the 80s, I think is when she worked there. So I got a bunch of like things from there as a kid that my mom handed down to me. And I have a handful of things. I don't know if they're Ripley cards, but I have a book, a Ripley's Believe It or Not book that had some of the cartoon thingies in it and stuff like that. So, yeah. All right, we're going to go ahead and talk about this right quick, and then we'll get into some of the ways tattoos work. And, yeah. So there's a study out right now, Chicago, from Study Finds. Tattoos are a common sight in society today. Despite their widespread appeal, the United States does not regulate the industry. So even though they have to get a local license they use a variety of chemicals, and a new study says that tattoo inks may contain substances that are harmful to the human body. They analyzed 100 inks and found that when the products have ingredient labels, they're often inaccurate as they're listed. They contain tiny particles that can seep under the skin and potentially cause cancer. If they're not shooken up enough or not like mixed enough, it can definitely cause like it to ball up more or to not be as viscous as it should be. Let's see. They realized that very little is actually known about the composition of tattoo inks because there's like so many brands. So they studied popular brands. They interviewed U.S. tattoo artists, what they know about their inks, and they quickly identified the brands of inks they use. But it turns out few of them know about the chemicals in them. Surprisingly, no dye shop makes pigment specifically for tattoo ink. Big companies manufacture pigments for everything, such as paint and textiles. And the same pigments are used in tattoo inks.
Yeah.
So what that
does make sense.
Yeah. So what may be hiding in them? There's the pigment and the carrier solution. So a solid composition like titanium dioxide, which is a white, or a combination of the two, white and blue inks. So the titanium dioxide sounds like not something fun to put in you. And I knew that some of them had like metal type substances in them. I just thought that they were non-carcinogenic, but it looks like we're finding out that there may be. The carrier solutions can also control the thickness of the ink and may include an anti-inflammatory ingredient as well. So there's a bunch more things in these than I guess a lot of us may have come to understand. So once again, talk to your tattoo artist about what company they're using. And then some of these we found out recently is nuclear magnetic response spectroscopy and electron microscopy studies the particle size and molecular compositions of dozens of tattoo inks during the investigation. And we've heard that like some tattoo inks will become inflamed when you're in an MRI and under some other types of magnetic circumstances. You can get itching and swelling and things like that. So let's see. Every time we looked at one of these inks, we found something that gave me pause. For example, 23 of 56 different inks analyzed to date suggest an azo-containing dye that is present. I don't know what that exactly is, but let's see. Okay, maybe it says it right here. While many azo pigments are harmless when they are chemically intact, the researchers warn that bacteria or ultraviolet light can degrade them. This turns them into nitrogen-based compound that can potentially cause cancer. So let's see. 16 of the inks using electron microscopy, and about half contain particles smaller than 100 nanometers. And that's a concerning range, supposedly. Particles that size can get through the cell membrane and potentially cause harm. So hopefully these people, American Chemical Society, are going to be going over that and trying to make them safer.
Apparently.
Yes.
There are also no restrictions in the EU or the UK. The EU have just started to ban certain things, and it's left issues within the tattoo industry because it's banned certain chemicals in the tattoo inks and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not just and I don't think it's implying that just the companies are going to be in trouble, but the artists themselves for not doing their due diligence in buying the correct ink.
Yeah,
the UK, however, not being part of the EU, is not subject to this ban.
Okay.
However, the UK are looking to follow suit in also banning certain chemicals in tattoo inks. But because we're doing it after the EU, it's likely that the UK will have less of an impact because the companies will already be trying to sort their shit out ready, and the UK will be able to just make them easier because we aren't having the runabout of finding new brands and new shit to use.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like if you as a tattoo artist know like, oh, that brand is potentially dangerous, I don't think you're going to be using that because you want to keep your good name.
Well, it's not just that they're potentially dangerous, it's that some of the chemicals within the ink have cancer-causing issues or have links to a reduction in reproductive health. And unless you're being up to date constantly on the ever-changing papers that come out saying what chemicals are and aren't safe, which like most tattoo artists aren't doing that. They find a brand that they know works well that has a good list of chemicals in it, but they're not up to date on the research into every single chemical in their inks. That's also impossible to ask of them.
Yeah, well, once again, what they said was a lot of these labels are misrepresenting what's in them. So if they are using a tattoo ink, if they're using a tattoo ink and it doesn't say the proper shit on it, that they can't. That's not their fault.
Yeah,
and it's hard to look into a company and what they have it because they're going to tell you what they want to tell you. You have to go in and get it tested yourself. But hopefully, this is going to cause a rise in there being a regulation in this, so we get safer tattoo inks and tattoo process.
But you can't test it because if they're lying, every batch is going to be different and every color is made differently. So you'd have to test a bit of every color, every bottle, every single bottle, or at least every batch of that bottle. So you'd have to check batch numbers.
Well,
things like this, because then like each batch would be different. It would have different levels of the chemicals in and all this sort of shit.
But that's what the company's supposed to be doing.
But
the company's supposed to be doing.
They will be between a certain level because otherwise you'll have completely different product. And I do.
Yeah, there's usually
want their product to be.
Yeah, you usually have it.
Well, that's why most tattoo artists make sure that if they need to use a lot of yellow or they're about to run out of yellow and the person about to tattoo needs a lot of yellow, you check the batch numbers to make sure they're the same batch, so they're the same pigmented amount. Or you just open the new yellow because you don't want to be tattooing them and open a new bottle of yellow and find out they're different batches and like the colour differs slightly. Because
I don't know a tattoo artist that does that.
Rate,
I don't know any tattoo artist. No. Nobody.
I know ones that check. They're that extra about it.
I've never heard of a tattoo artist looking at the batch number. They use the same consistent company, but I don't know anybody who looks at the batch number.
But like,
I don't think they're real. Because your company is supposed to be able to make it the exact same every single time. It should not vary at all. The different.
Well, it's also with paint and other products.
Yeah.
There is always a slight difference, but yeah. No, but what I've looked up just before the stream when we were talking, like here there are regulations for tattooing, but the government is not testing that.
Yeah, okay. The only thing that I know for sure,
so you have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, the only thing that I know that tattoo artists do for sure is look at the expiration date. We definitely that gets looked over every time before you open a bottle. You go, is this too old? Is this, I have 20 different fucking bottles of ink right now that are sitting behind me that are 4 years old past their expiration date. So I'm just looking at ink that I can't do anything with.
Oh no. Get rid of it before you're tempted to bloody use it.
No,
because we know where you would use it, and that's yourself.
Well, no, I believe the next time I'm going to use it is on Queen, but I'll be using saline to do it as a fetish thing instead of actually tattooing. You can take saline and put it in there or use it and then put on the ointment, and you can do dry tattoos for play. So I think that's the next time I'm using my machines. Anyways, let's go ahead. I'm going to play this, and I'm going to let it play all the way through. I'm going to use the restroom right quick. I would like, will somebody look up News Direct?
Yep.
And they are a YouTube channel, but I want to look up who they actually are and if they're maybe trusted or we should not trust them, because this seems sus to me, what they're saying. But anyways, let's go ahead and I'm going to play this right quick, and I will be right back.
A new study published in the journal Particle and Fiber Toxicology has found that tattoo needles deposit metal particles such as nickel and chromium into the skin during the tattooing process. According to a news release by the European Synchrotron Radiation Facility, these particles are then transported from the tattoo site to the body's lymph nodes, where their sizes ranged from 50 nanometers to 2 micrometers. Researchers analyzed a tattoo needle by using a scanning electron microscopy to take a closer look at the needle before and after the tattoo process. They found that the needle showed abrasions from certain tattoo inks that contain titanium dioxide, a white pigment that is usually mixed in bright colors such as green or blue. Researchers did not find the same result with carbon black ink.
So not the same with black ink. So if a difference per ink, then it's not the needle.
See, I don't know, because you figure certain inks won't stay in people's bodies, and it's different for everybody. Like mine won't hold purple or pink.
Yeah, and as we said, Slim's body doesn't like blue.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
And mine loves blue. Mine, the blue stays with mine.
So really quick, I just came back into the conversation, but I think I know what we're speaking about. So what we have found out is almost everybody that we have come across, one pigment their body doesn't like. So I'm light blue. I'm sky blue. If you try putting sky blue into me, it just keeps rejecting it. It loves red and purple. It'll fucking suck that shit in.
See, mine is pink and purple. It won't take it.
Yeah, exactly. So we found out that there's pigment shades in almost everybody that their body doesn't like for some reason. So really quick, XD, what's the most botched tattoo I've ever seen?
The one on the back of my neck.
I used to go and hang out at tattoo parlors all the time and body piercing studios, and I have seen multiple times people coming in. Well, they had gotten a tattoo a week or two before, and they decided to go into jacuzzi.
Oh.
And their tattoos will fucking swell and turn into these huge lumps, and it looked like this huge, massive mess because of the chlorine.
A good tattoo artist will tell you not to do that.
Yeah, so you should not go into any chlorinated water for 2 to 3 months after being tattooed. Even ocean water is a little iffy for the first couple weeks. That's another reason why we really like using Second Skin or the clear skin cover stuff. It matters on what company it is. Because you put that on it and you can go do whatever the fuck you want. You can go into jacuzzi, you can go do whatever you want, and it's not gonna let in all that shite. And the other thing people think is they think a pool and around a jacuzzi and in a jacuzzi is clean because of the shit. No, it's clean for certain things, but not everything.
So especially public schools are the most disgusting thing ever.
Yeah.
So what's happened? That is a very bad misquote. So I've actually gone to the ESRF place about that article.
Okay.
The number of tattooed people has increased substantially in recent years, with some countries revealing to have up to 24% of the population with a tattoo. Adverse reactions from tattoos are common, and until now, researchers believed only inks were to blame. There is more to tattoos than meets the eye. It is not only about the cleanliness of the parlor, the sterilization of the equipment, or even about the pigments. Now we find that needle wear also has an impact in your body, explains Hiram Castillo, one of the authors of the study at the ESRF. Today, in a new study published in the Journal of Particle and Fiber Toxicology, scientists have shown that surprisingly, chromium and nickel particles coming from tattoo needle wear are distributed towards the lymph nodes. Usually, tattoo needles contain 6 to 8% of nickel and 15 to 20% chromium, both of which prompt a high rate of sensitization in the general area and therefore play a role in tattoo allergies. So not necessarily the pigment, but the needles used.
Yeah.
2 years ago, the same team of researchers found that pigments and their metal impurities are transported to the lymph nodes in a nanoform where they can be found years after the placement of a tattoo. So that's basically the beginning of it. It's saying it's the size of the particles found in the lymph nodes after being translocated from the tattoos range from 15 nanometers to 2 micrometers.
Mm-hmm.
It shows that not only pigments are to blame, but abraded needle particles. But what I'm confused about is when they say tattoo wear. I don't see anywhere the information of the people that they tattooed. Why there's tattoo needle wear? Tattoo needles are used once.
One thing is people don't they buy cheap needles and they don't look if any of them are barbed. Most of my tattoo artists, they will take a magnifying eyeglass piece and they will look at their needles. If you're not looking to see if your needle is flat or not, and I've watched handfuls of needles being thrown away because there was a barb on them, there was something wrong with them. So if you're not looking at that and you're tattooing somebody with a barb on it, you're causing more trauma to the body. So your tattoo artist should be looking at your tattoo needles before they use them on you.
And this is a bit of a weird one because the study doesn't show why 2 years ago they were even looking at the particles, what particles they used, and as well how this was done. Who were these tattooed people? Where did they get it done? Did they tattoo themselves with the stupid shitty practice ink that comes in those cheap boxes that clearly says on the bottle not for human use? It's practice ink, not tattoo ink. It has metals in it. It is not safe to use on yourself. We don't know if it was an ink that had a high concentration of metal in it naturally.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's old ink or not. It has not published any of this about the about the control group that they used. None of it. So we don't know anything about it. There could be prison tattoos with dirty old needles, and of course they're going to be doing it. And what do they mean by wear? Do they mean
they use them again and again?
Experiment without actually doing it how a real tattoo artist would do a tattoo?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
None of this
so that's why
used. I don't know the efficacy of this company or why they might want to have a problem with tattoos.
Exactly. So that is just something that may be happening, but may not, like Vila completely laid it out. Don't trust that at all, and don't make that a reason why to not. But do ask your tattoo artist anything that you have about their equipment. So they should be looking at it under a microscope to see if their needle pack is even, if there's no barbs, if it's clean. A handful of other things you look at when you look at them under that little eye scope thingy, bummer, whatever. Okay, so now we're gonna look at like how tattoo ink gets into the skin and why it stays there.
Interesting.
So the next layer down is extremely important to tattooing and ink deposition. And as we mentioned earlier, this was called the dermis. So let's take a look again at the cadaver dissection. Remember, the majority of this cut edge here was the dermis, or the dermal tissue, where that paper-thin top was the epidermis. The epidermis, again, made of epithelial tissue, but the dermis, or this dermal tissue, is made out of a totally different tissue called...
So this is pig skin we're looking at.
And it's the nature of this dense, irregular connective tissue that allows ink to be deposited and for it to last many, many years, or what we would think of as permanent. And so for us to more fully appreciate how the ink can be permanent or relatively permanent in this layer, we're going to zoom into this cut edge of the dermis here, like on a little magic school bus ride, by zooming in to the model here. So this would be that same cut edge here, and to orient you, this would be the epidermal layer here, or the epidermis, and from my thumb to my pointer down here would be the dermis. Now, very different tissues, the epidermis and the dermis. Remember, this had tons of cells packed together, the epidermis, but the dermis, we wouldn't see that. We'd see only a few cells scattered throughout the spaces between all these other structures. And those cells are important because they are called fibrocytes, and they produce a protein fiber called collagen, one of the most abundant proteins in the human body. Now, the model is actually trying to show you, if we zoom into it, the fiber orientation of the collagen. You can see some lines going this way, some other lines in between the other spaces going in other directions. And that is why the tissue, or the dermis, is referred to as a dense, irregular connective tissue, because the collagen fibers are going in all directions, which we'll talk about the interaction with ink here soon. But because the collagen is going in all directions, it gives skin its strength to be tugged on in every which way there, or in other words, all directions. Now, the skin is not just made up of, or I should say specifically the dermis, is not just made up of fibrocytes and collagen. As you can see from the skin model, there are a whole bunch of other structures in here. We've got sweat glands, blood vessels coming through here, nerve endings, and even hair follicles that have pushed down from the epidermis. So again, how does this anatomical knowledge help us understand how tattoos work in this layer? Well, ink is being deposited into the dermal layer, and a lot of that ink is going to get suspended in that collagen matrix. And some of it will be even taken up by those fibrocytes, or those cells I mentioned earlier. But that's not the only thing that's going on here. You see, during tattooing, a needle is puncturing the skin anywhere from 50 to 3,000 times per minute. That's creating trauma, as well as injecting a foreign substance into the skin. Now, usually when our body deals with trauma or a foreign substance gets introduced, our immune system has something to say about that, and the inflammatory process gets activated. Now, we could do a whole video just on the process of inflammation. But one of the main take-home points for us is that inflammation is getting white blood cells to the site of injury, infection, or to deal with foreign substances. And that's what happens during the tattoo process. White blood cells get called to the area, they'll leave these blood vessels, and then go roam through the tissue, which is a really interesting thing because these cells, specifically these white blood cells called macrophages, are these little engulfers. In other words, they engulf or take up foreign substances. That could be viruses, that could be bacteria, dead tissue, and debris. But in this case, they start trying to engulf the ink. Now, that engulfment process is a technical term called phagocytosis. And typically, once a white blood cell phagocytizes or engulfs something, it starts to break it down and digest it. However, it's used to breaking down and digesting biological substances. Ink can include dye, plastics, and even solids that our immune system, or our white blood cells, are not really equipped to break down very well or digest. So what's the solution? We think with some of the research that's leading to this is, instead of being able to break it down because they can't, it's more of like, let's isolate it and contain it and not let this ink go to other areas of the body. So it's pretty crazy to think about. Those white blood cells getting some of that ink from the collagen, they'll even engulf some of the dead fibrocytes, and that ink stays in them, and you can see that through the surface of the skin. And the idea is that those white blood cells just kind of stay put there. And if you're like me...
So that's pretty much the idea of why tattoo ink stays in the pockets that it's put into. So the next thing we want to go over, and we're going to do it at fast speed, is the different types of tattoo machines. So we're going to go over this really fast, and then we're going to go over where to not get body piercings, and we'll see how far we get along. So these are the different type of tattoo machines.
I'd like to talk to you guys about tattoo machines today and the different styles of what they are and what they can do and what they use. So we have the traditional coil style machine, two electromagnetic coils drive a piece of metal, pulls it down from the contact point up there, pulls across this spring. We call this an armature bar. We have obviously our contact points up here. These machines are extremely adjustable, allows you to change the different stroke of the machine, stuff like that.
So that's what it sounds like when it's turned on.
Than a new machine.
Yeah,
they make quite a
that's
big
what
buzz.
it sounds like on.
You can hear they can be adjusted to different lengths, different stroke lengths.
Basically the same principle as a doorbell.
Put in these different coils can be put in these.
Yeah.
Old machines are extremely adjustable. It's kind of a great thing and kind of the downfall of a machine like this. These machines have quite a bit of adjustments, but also can be knocked out of adjustment fairly easy if you use a very delicate machine. We have a Bishop style machine. This is a rotary style machine. There's an internally driven rotary style motor in here. This one is a 3.5 stroke motor. It is also driven by an RCA cable versus a old school clip cord. The difference.
So the one I have right here is a rotary machine that he was just speaking about. This one is from Switzerland. So give me just a second. So see, this is encased. There's a rotary machine encased in there. Let me see if I can get it to. So this rotates. This little lever goes up and down, and this little thing rotates around like that. So it's a rotary machine because it rotates. So that's what that type of machine is. He'll put it together to show you how it goes together. So what you would do is you would take the needle and you put the back little eyelet on here. Well, you'd obviously take the tube and put the needle and the tube together, and you put the tube in there with the needle. You put the needle over the little eye hole over here, and then you have the tube, and then this tightens it down to hold it into place, the tube. I was going to have a pin, but he'll show you exactly how this works. And then you take the two connections and you put them in here. Boop. And then what you do is you hold it like this, and you tattoo with the needle and the tube coming out of there. And you tattoo it with it resting on the top of your hand like this. So he'll go more into those, but just want to show you. I know what I'm talking about. I've done a little bit of tattooing and been in the industry for a couple years, and that's why I like this, because he goes through all these things pretty well.
This is a clip cord on my right. This is a RCA cable on my left. Clip cords go on the machine.
And yes, they can use RCA cables.
When you switch them, you usually switch it clip cord to clip cord to clip cord, or multiple clip cords will come to machines. RCA cables, same deal. You usually have one RCA cable per machine, and on these type of machines, you have one needle set up inside.
So you can have your amplifier and your guitar using the same cable as your tattoo machine. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's a hard bar. It's going to be a bar that goes all the way through to a handle, a grip. I'll show you something about that in a little bit here.
Yeah, he's going to put them together in a second.
Pin style machine, and obviously
so
you have two of these.
These are the new versions of tattoo machines,
and they're beautiful machines. You can change the
stroke
inside, the buffering inside. This is an extremely adjustable machine. Once again, it has internal things.
It's
it is
on right now.
And running right
it's
now.
On right now.
You can't hear it, but that is one of the big perks of these machines is they don't cause a lot of kickback through the machine. They allow you to have a much more stable line work, much nicer looking tattoo overall. So it's quite a nice machine. The Bishops are very similar. They have very little kickback. They don't make a whole lot of noise. I'll plug one of those in for you real quick. A little bit noisier. You can kind of hear the rattle of the machine a little bit more. And then this is my favorite machine.
And one of the problems that tattoo artists have with the buzzing your hand, when you're tattooing for like 8 hours straight, your hand goes numb and you start getting nerve damage from it.
I cannot imagine that.
Yeah, anybody who uses power tools, drills and things like that, grinders, sanders and things like that, you should understand, most of us work for, you hold them for a while. And when you get let go, you're like, God, my hand hurts. Oh, damn it, or it gets cramped up and you're like trying to open it back up,
Just quickly. So I'm actually reading their paper right now. And it's a lot of hypothesis and theorize, not theory like the theory of evolution or that sort of thing. They're just spitballing here. And the best part of it, so they did an X-ray to talk about the absorption near the edge structures in the tissue specimen, which led us to investigate steel wear from tattoo needles and its subsequent quantification using post-mortem tattooed pig skin.
Yeah.
So not human skin.
No.
Not humans, not human skin, not biopsies from living human, dead human lymph node tissues of tattooed people. They're talking about the crap with the issues with the thing in ink pigments. And now they're saying that led us to do this experiment, which led us to think of this, to do this, to tattooing pig skin with a tattoo needle of questionable origin, and check out the deposits from the needle just in the pig skin, which these are scientists. I doubt they knew to do certain things that actual artists would do, like you said, saline on the dry tattooing, or did they use tattooing? All of this shit we don't know.
What ointment did they use? I mean, there's a handful of other things, and most of. All right, if you go to a tourist town, a vacation place, and you walk into a shop, and you point at some picture on the wall, and you ask to get tattooed by it, you're going to get the lowest rung person most likely in the shop, unless their shop is completely flash, which there are shops. But most of the time, they're using very, very low quality equipment. Let's put it that way. Their stuff may not be 100% stainless steel, or it may not be coated properly. It may not be done, made in. Oh. It may not be done, made in the,
So
somewhere
you're on holiday in a town that you're not going to go back to. You're likely drunk when you go in.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to exactly go out of their way to give you a banging tattoo, because you're going to go home and then you're not going to get to say shit about it or do anything about it.
Well, the thing is they're going to use substandard quality material, because you're going to go in and you're going to want a $20 tattoo. To get a $20 tattoo or under, let's even say a $40 tattoo, for the fuck of it, they're going to use, if they're using quality equipment and how many rubber gloves they use, and other things, and how expensive their tattoo machines are, they're going to be spending at least like half of that to some extent, maybe, on that, right? Mm-hmm. So if you get sub quality stuff, they're going to spend $12 of the $40 tattooing you. Because you have to put down that cloth, you have to saran wrap everything. People don't realize there is a good amount of overhead.
That's latex gloves, your saran wrap, your ink caps. You've got to have your Vaseline, the popsicle sticks to do the Vaseline, your transfer paper. For
and if they're using like nitrile or vinyl gloves instead of the latex, that's even more expensive.
Yeah.
So
and then like there's so much more that goes into it. And also, are they employed by the shop? Do they lease a chair? How are they doing it? Do they have to pay part of the percentage of the outright price to the shop, or do they get an hourly rate? Then the amount of time it takes to set up, to clean up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But really quick, most of the time when you get flash tattooed on you, you are getting the apprentice. So don't walk into a shop and go and pick something pretty out of the catalog or off the wall, unless you don't mind helping an apprentice get new work. I have had at least 13 newbie artists tattoo me, and I help them get their seat in the shop by tattooing me. There was a couple people who were apprentices, and my homies were their teacher, and I looked at them and said, "Are they ready?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay, then you can tattoo something on me." But just remember, most of the time when you go in and pick something flash off the wall, unless it's over $100 or $200, you're going to be getting B-rate equipment used on you, most likely. I'm not going to put down every shop, and I'm not saying in the tourist towns. Let's make that very, very clear. In the college town that I'm in, there are probably 4 shops around college that if you walk in and ask for a basic something, you're gonna get the apprentice for sure. If you come in and you say, I want a sleeve and I want to spend $1,200 and I want it to be multiple sessions and I've got 400 or 200 as a deposit, you're gonna get the best tattoo artist in the shop, probably the owner, because most owners tattoo, and you're gonna get fucking the best. Like that's
the idea of like paying like $20-$40 for a piece of flash is so alien to me.
Yeah,
because here you pay an hourly rate. It's £60 an hour.
Yeah,
minimum.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
and that's the thing. If your tattoo takes half an hour, you are still paying that £60. Doesn't matter, because the tattoo artist will only do work for an hour rate minimum. Otherwise, it's not worth him doing it.
Exactly.
Because he can get another customer that will want it. Walk-ins are gold dust here. You'll go on their website, your Facebook, whatever. I've had a 6-hour cancellation today. Who wants it? 3 seconds, gone.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Slim is absolutely right, because a friend of mine from high school, he owns a tattoo shop. And if somebody comes in and wants like a emoji face tattoo on them or some crap, he's not even going to bother. He's going to give them to one of the other people that rent chairs from him. But if somebody comes in and wants like a complete back piece or an entire sleeve or something, then it's worth his time. And most of the time, he won't even bother tattooing somebody for anything under $100.
Yeah, and a lot of places here,
not little tattoos, they're fine.
And that's another thing about tattoo shops that aren't around colleges or vacation spots. You walk in and you're like, I want a $40 tattoo because me and my girlfriend or my mom want this thing. They're like, go to the next shop. It's not worth my time. If you don't want to spend $100 to $150 each, then just get the fuck out of here.
He won't kick them out of the shop, but he's not doing them. He's not doing the tattoo. He's sending them to one of the people renting a chair from him.
Yeah. When I was really drunk with one of my homies at the bar, he just broke up with his girlfriend, who he ended up getting pregnant a week later. Anyways, he got on his lower back in big letters, your name, as a tramp stamp.
That is the dumbest shit. It's like, I bet you I have your name tattooed on my penis.
Yeah, exactly. And so the thing is I tried talking him out of it. The thing is, he said, go with me. I did a little.
He kind of tried. He
said, he told me that I'm going to get a camel tattooed on my toe. And I was like, okay, bro. Yeah, let's do this. We went to 3 shops. Hold on. I know. Camel toe. I know. Hold on.
That's amazing, though. I love that. That's like a really common tattoo over here.
Yeah.
An artist would do that just for a laugh over here. Honestly, they probably charge you. They cut you a deal for something that fucking simple. I'll tell you that.
So we went to 3 shops, maybe 4, and they said, "Fuck no, get out of here, you fucking drunks." And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, we're never going to get this done, but let's try.
No, you can never get away with tattooing someone drunk here. Oh, no.
Yeah. So I was acting normal, even though I was drunk, but he was acting drunk. But anyways, we go into this one shop, and the fucking shop owner says, apprentice, here you go. So they pick font, everything. He's all busy, like, looking at the stencil that she just put on. And I went, come here. And I was like, I had a really good friend, and I, like, did a lot of drugs with his daughter. And he had a bong company called Zong. And their logo was a camel with 2 tits on its back with nipples on top. So I said, hey, I don't want a camel on my toe. I want you on the side of my foot to draw their logo because it means something to me, you know? Like, I fucking partied with those people, and like, so she looks up the fucking logo. She's like, yeah, I'll do that. Charge motherfucker, because he said, if you go with me, I'll pay for it. She charged me $100 for a little itty bitty camel on the side of my foot. And I said, I don't care how much you charge me. He's paying for it. I think he should pay $200 for horrible your name on his back. And then I got that on the side of my foot. And like, it's so funny that like, poor dude. He hit me up a week later and is like, oh, I got my ex pregnant or my girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, have fun with that, bro. You're a fucking complete mess, alcoholic, pill popper, but you all have fun with that.
Did he at least get it in like some nice freaking?
No, you know, Swamp Thing, you know, his swamp Thing, like
font? Good God.
He got it in like the Swamp Thing font, like the spooky, like, woo. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, and I totally helped fucking push that shit. I totally found like.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah,
I absolutely fucking believe that you did.
Because he should have gotten it in like really awesome cursive that you couldn't read without reading it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It would have looked like semi decent, like your name all like fucking scripted out and like pretty. But we were like, nope, go for the ugliest, muddiest looking, fucking stupidest fucking font we can. And me and the tattoo artist were looking at each other like, yeah, let's convince this idiot to get. Yeah, I'm a dick. Okay,
but very nice people. I gotta go. I gotta go to bed.
All right, go get some sleep, sweetheart.
I got work in the morning, so.
All right.
This was fun and interesting, and yeah.
Bye, brainless love.
Good night, brainless.
Good night,
love
nice
you.
people. Good night, side chat.
Good night, brainless. Love you.
That doesn't mean you're not nice people.
Love you, brainless.
Bye.
Bye.
Jerk. I see how it is. He doesn't love his queen anymore.
Yes.
I've just looked. So the reason they came to this conclusion of the study was they had 5 donors of the lymph nodes from tattooed people and 2 donors from non-tattooed people.
Their sample size was 7?
5.
So
7, yeah, sorry, 7. And of which, because they were cadavers and because of it was a blind test. They don't know these people's occupations or their exposure to these chemicals in life. They don't know. One of them could be
or if they were heavy drinkers, or
one of them could be a blacksmith.
Really quick,
And
the easiest way to dispute this is a sample size that small you can't make anything out of it. You need 100 or more or whatever. I mean, like just looking at that, and that's what I wanted. That's why I wanted to show it. And thank you, Vila, for looking it up and going through it. I wanted to say this is probably not true, but this is something that somebody said. So I like to just like throw out information that I find, and obviously this is like bullshit information, and they may have been using needles from Taiwan or something that were barbed.
That's what I was about to say. It says here the tattoo on the pig skin was used with a Cheyenne Hawk Thunder rotary tattoo machine bought from Mount Dern, Berlin, Germany, with various tattoo needles. See additional file.
Okay.
Until an even color shade was achieved. So it doesn't say how long that was, how overworked the skin was, what angle they used, if they checked it, or if they kept changing needles over and over again, like different brands, whatever, in the same area. Then it says, alternatively, a no-name coil tattoo machine was used. Talks about how they were prepared, and this is actually done by a company that are doing it based on allergic reactions.
Okay. Well, again,
there's not about allergic reactions.
Okay. Well, it was not done properly, and there was not enough of sample size, and yakety schmackety. You're flying to Northern Ireland in 5 hours. Yeah. Well, good luck with that. let us know how the trip goes, and have some beer and whiskey for us. Is that what they make?
Yes.
Is it whiskey or?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Yeah, bourbon is
whiskey
the Americas.
And Guinness. Whiskey and Guinness, my friend.
Okay.
Good old Irish whiskey.
So let's get through with this.
And do me a favor, get a shot of the proper 12 and tell me if it even tastes any good.
Yeah, let us know.
Because I'm not willing to pay money for that if it's shit.
Okay, so these are the new style of tattoo machines that you most likely will be getting used on you if you go to a modern tattoo shop. That's why I wanted to go over these.
For anything. Very, very nice machine. FK Irons makes these. These are Zion machines. They're absolutely excellent machines.
So they're just
this is
the
a
pin
beautiful Bishop
machines.
machine. Absolutely amazing. Once again, if you're looking to do a hard bar machine, these are great. You really, really love these machines. Right.
Okay.
Now we have some traditional style needles. This is what would go into this style machine. It'll hook onto that loop in the back. It'll run through there. And then you take a tube very similar to this, slide it back on there, and then you'd cover the whole entire machine and clip cord with a bag to be safe and sterile. That's
how
what you would
that
do with this style machine or this style machine. Because once again, you're going to have the needle. It'll hook to that loop in the back, very similar to that.
Like
you have this look, it'd run through here. It'll clip into here, which is really nice because it does hold the needle super stable.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
like these machines quite a bit for line work. They don't have quite enough play for shader, but for liners, they are amazing.
Okay.
In my opinion, of course, and that is definitely an opinion-driven thing. This is a cartridge-style needle. I'm actually going to open this to kind of show the difference.
This is a cartridge that you put inside of these. It's done completely different than what you've seen with the old machine.
Brand in particular, so it's okay to show it. It is a liner-style needle, so you can see the head is quite a bit different than a shader. But like I said, I'm not trying to get into needles and all that stuff. I'm just showing you guys a little bit of difference between what the machines use and require.
And then you just plug it
drop in here,
like right in there.
Gloves today. I'm not.
So what you do is you have different needles. So you have their liner, you have your shader, you have your other thingy mabobbers, and you literally just plug that in and take it out, and then it fills up this part with the ink, and it has this big reservoir right here, so you can fill it like motherfucker, like almost a cap full. And you can just keep going forever and not having to stop or dip or whatever. It's fucking amazing.
It's going to be sterile. I'm going to have to clean everything after I'm done with it. But this is just a quick look into what we have going on with different machines. And that's this machine running with the needle cartridge inside. You can hear it's extremely quiet. Mostly what you're hearing is the sound of the needle touching the edge of the cartridge or flexing inside the cartridge itself. And
then I think with this, you do the needle depth, I think, or that's all. I don't remember. But it may already have the needle depth already ready. So you literally just plug it in and fucking go. I don't know enough about it to be 100% about that. But that's with that. Let's do the 5 most dangerous piercings. Because we're going to get into piercings. And then right after this, we're going to look at, let's see where it says, dangerous places to not get pierced at. So everybody go to this gentleman's channel, Piercing with Scott. He's really amazing. He does a bunch of piercing and tattoo Q&As, maybe just piercing Q&As. I'm not 100% sure. All the time for streams. He is the one where I got the idea for this. So thank you, Scott, for giving me the idea of doing a piercing Q&A. So here we go.
What I'm going to talk about is the snake eye piercing or the horizontal tongue piercing. It's number one on the list for me because it's the one I get the most requests for, and it seems to be pretty popular right now, and we need to be careful because this is going to do a lot of damage to our bodies. First of all, a normal tongue piercing is back far enough where it's protected against your teeth and your gums. With the snake eye piercings, horizontal right there, those beads are actually going to cause gum erosions to where your teeth can fall out. Also, that metal's rubbing right up against your enamel, and you're going to get enamel erosion as well to where it just gets nice and thin. There's no replacing that. And the other concern is that you're going to bite down and chomp on those beads all the time, chipping your teeth away.
Yeah, when you're eating. Oh, yeah, you're going to.
Your tongue is 2 separate muscles. And what you're trying to do here is you're trying to.
I bite on one side of my tongue constantly. The left side of my tongue, I bite on fucking all the time. So can you imagine like accidentally biting on those? I even bite on. Hold on. Let me do this. I even accidentally bite on these and these. You know, you're eating food and
oh, it's slim. You know, when the ball from your lip piercings fall out, you don't realize you're eating, and all of a sudden you have your lip stud in your food.
Yeah, or you know how many balls I've swallowed?
Oh god, yeah.
I've swallowed so many.
I swallowed more balls than I have dick.
So somebody clipped that last fucking 20 seconds out because that was great. No, literally, I have literally like been chewing, and then all of a sudden, like my lip ring falls out, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, well, where's the other ball? I'm like, oh shit.
I'm pretty sure all three of us up here on panel have swallowed a lot of balls.
Exactly. So all you trolls out there, we have swallowed a lot of balls between all three of us. Okay, thank you, Vila, for posting that.
That's all right. I looked into it. I looked into their tables of evidence to see. They said that they use 6 different brands of needle, but what it actually looks like is what they meant to say is they used 6 different styles of needle.
Okay.
Be it a like 0.35 mil needle and all these sorts of things, like not brands but different needles for different types of thing, and they haven't listed what actual company they used.
Yes, and that's why I said as soon as I was showing it before, or when I mentioned it the first time, I don't know how credible this is, and I have a feeling it is bullshit. I did have a feeling about that, so thank you for looking that up. Okay, so let's keep blowing on with this, because they get into like some fucking crazy fucked up shit that when I saw some of these, I was like, I can't motherfucking believe that. Hey, Beck, do you want to...
Hey, Uncle Beck.
If you want to join us, let us know. I think I have to email you. I don't remember how to get a hold of you. Twitter? I don't remember.
It was Twitter.
Okay, well, let me know if you want to join us. We're talking about extreme body piercings that you should not get right as of now. Or not. That's where the subject we're on right now is what I meant to say.
Okay, Twitter. So can't move independently? Doesn't seem right to me. Listen to your body. It doesn't seem right. There's a reason why most piercers won't do this. The second common piercing, well, not as common as the snake eyes, is the collarbone or clavicle piercing. Now, I'm not talking about the surface piercing.
I'm good.
Okay, I'm just going to let everybody look at this for a second while I go and grab my phone. And just
don't get me wrong, there are a few more body piercings that I want to get, but that one's a no.
Yeah, there are quite a few more piercings that I'd love to get, but I like the look of the piercings along the collarbone. No, God, no.
None whatsoever.
The risk of losing all sensitivity down there is not worth the chance of heightened sensitivity. Yeah.
Even if you get the right spot and not through the clit, but just the hood, you could still lose sensitivity. And I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Well, it's never meant to actually go through your clit. It's meant to be.
Actually, I know a few people who have got it done.
But that's literally just that's not how it's meant to be. It's meant to be through your vaginal hood.
Original versions of it back in the 90s was piercing the clit itself. They did not understand the concept of not doing that. And so I had a bunch of friends that had it done.
Yeah, I have a bunch of friends that had theirs done.
Then they began realizing they need to do it through only the hood. But one of the problems with going through the hood, and it depends on each person is different. Some of them, because it is rubbing against the clit in some way, shape, or form, that's in a new way, they do eventually begin saying they're losing sensitivity. But I don't know if that is just because they're getting older, and you know, the more you fuck, the more, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
I'd imagine it's actually they are losing sensitivity because increased exposure to it causes decreased sensitivity, much like men get decreased sensitivity to their penis due to being circumcised because the bell end is exposed and having constant stimulation rubbing against like your trousers, your underwear, everything. that it's not meant to actually be exposed to, so it causes desensitization.
Yeah, you're telling me I was a teenage boy with a circumcised penis.
Yikes.
My one friend who, after she first got hers done, she couldn't walk without, every, length of distance, so many steps or whatever, without having an orgasm.
Yeah, I knew a handful of people that had a problem with that after they got theirs done. So yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have a problem with your genitalia, don't do anything to it.
Right.
Maybe if you're not getting as hard as you used to, maybe get a couple implants in there. I don't know. But if everything works, just leave that place alone. Do everything else on your body, but not there. Because when I was doing some mentoring and some counseling for goth kids and transgender and gay kids that got kicked out of their homes and were homeless, and they were in different organizations. And we came across a trend that I was the only one who I could kind of talk with some of these kids about. And what they were doing was they were taking razor blades and they were cutting incisions into their genitalia. And I talked to females and males that were doing this at like 14 years old, 12 years old.
Jeez.
It was a trend in the early 2000s. I don't know what it was called. It was only for a while that it seemed to be a trend. I don't see it going on anymore, although I'm not into that kind of counseling and I'm not talking to those people. So I'm not 100% sure. Hey, Lucifer. And if there's anybody else who's here, welcome. Thank you for being here.
I don't know, if this was ever a really popular thing or whatever, but I was actually, hang on one second. I was actually seeing this one guy, and not only did he have his penis pierced, but he had a domino carved into the shape of a heart and had it implanted under his skin.
Yeah, there are handfuls of people getting, and in jail.
This was.
Yeah, people are getting
years ago.
Yeah, people were getting. It may not be popular anymore. I don't know. To me, the newest trend in jail and prison is eyeball tattooing and tongue splitting. But there used to be a trend of gentlemen who were getting genital modifications in jail and in prison. Implants, like the reason why it was a domino tile, right? In the shape of a heart is what you said?
It was a domino.
Yeah, that they carved into the shape of a heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason they're using domino is because in prison there's a fucking shit ton of fucking dominoes. So it's an easy thing to get a hold of to implant.
But this guy was never in prison.
Dude, then he must have hung out at some fucking crazy fucking party, gangster parties.
Right.
That's like a fucking hardcore gangster thing you do in prison. The reason why you use that object is because that's the only thing you have to implant in you in prison or in jail. Out in the wild, there's so many other things he could have implanted. But hey, I don't know what him and his friends do in there, and I'm not kink shaming. I don't know what him and his homies do.
Slim.
Yeah.
I just messaged my mate about the tattoo ink thing, right?
Yeah.
Asking him about it. Because he asked me to organize the inks to make sure the batch codes were all of this color and shit. And I'm like,
yeah.
Why do you do it? It's like, oh, wait. Look back. Oh, they changed the recipe. That's why. They changed the formulation.
Yeah.
And he didn't want the new formula and the old formula to go together in case they look different.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I thought for fucking ages it was a proper thing.
In the Americas, I've never heard of anybody doing that. But maybe they do, and I don't know.
No, it's just because they changed the formulation of of that color.
Yeah.
Like what the. Sorry, that's gonna crack me up. For ages, I thought that was a legitimate thing you do.
Yeah.
God, I hate that dickhead.
Okay,
he was always doing shit like that to me.
Okay, so let's keep going on with this.
Under the skin here, I'm talking about a deep under the collarbone piercing. Extremely dangerous. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but your lungs go up much higher than you would expect. And I even heard at one point in time that there's only a 5 millimeter gap between your lungs and your clavicle bone. I don't care how good of a piercer you are, your aim's not that good, and it's not worth puncturing.
Look at how deep this fucking shit is.
Number 3 on the list is the hand piercing. Now, there's lots of different hand piercings people can get, and it's not necessarily dangerous to pierce the skin or any part of your hand. What's dangerous is it's an open wound, and your hand's touching everything all day long, and the risk of infection goes through the roof. Think of all the door handles you're touching all day long, and all that fecal and nasty matter that's on there. That's going right inside your body. That's asking for infection. That's why I will never offer any hand, web, finger, or any sort of hand piercing whatsoever. Be careful with this one. Number 4, we're talking about the eyelid piercing. Not an eyebrow piercing. Eyebrow piercing is really not that dangerous.
This is so fucking dangerous and dumb and stupid and doesn't even. Why would somebody even fucking do this to anybody? This is. You're gonna fucking lose your eyesight. Do not fucking do this. It looks cool as fuck, but you're gonna lose your eyesight. Literally, you are.
Done properly. The eyelid, the one that covers your eyeball. Now, probably don't need to go into too much detail why this is dangerous. You're gonna get corneal abrasions, plus the chance of loss of vision, possible blindness. Is it really worth it?
Most likely you are going to go blind by getting that.
Moving on to number 5. Back in the day, I used to be all proud of this. Now I'm slightly more embarrassed. I used to have this one myself. This is the mandible piercing. I thought it may be tough, more extreme, a little bit more than all the rest of the people out there. Mandible is this way, behind the jawbone into the mouth. It's extremely dangerous. There are so many glands.
So when I was going through my training of piercing, and the reason I don't do this, even though I was trained on how to, I was trained on how to pierce through under the muscle and through the arm. I obviously have videos of me piercing through my cheeks, so I was trained on that. The tattoos on this side, there is an open rectangle. The reason why there's an open rectangle there is because that's where there's no nerve clusters and it is safe to pierce. There's nerve clusters right here for your salivation glands, and there's nerve clusters back here that cause your jaw and your lip and your face to move in the ways that it does. If you destroy any of those, you are always drooling out your side of your mouth, or if you hit these, half of your face will go dead. I was trained on how to do this piercing.
I nearly had the dead face thing, but from a tooth infection.
Yeah, exactly.
It nearly hit the infection nearly spread to the nerves there, and I would have had half my face effectively paralyzed. It's serious.
Yeah. You don't realize there's so many nerve clusters, there's so many nerves, there's so many arteries, there's so many veins, there's so many other things that are inside of and around that y'all don't understand, and it's very dangerous to do these things. And if you don't look at somebody's portfolio who's been doing it a bunch, you're going to be the guinea pig, and if they fuck it up, you're fucked. You're the one who has to live with it, even though you can sue them maybe and get some of their money. You're still the one who is screwed. So this is fucking dangerous as fuck. One of the major reasons is you're salivating all the time. This bottom one is going to be drooling constantly, especially until it heals. And even when it heals, the more that you move it around, the more this is going to leak. So you're always going to have a leak.
I've heard that one is like the highest infection rate. Apparently it never heals.
Why would it? It wouldn't. Yeah.
What is it? One of the guys from 9 Inch Nails or something had it.
Yeah.
Because he had that famous hoop through it, remember?
Yeah.
And he apparently his never healed. It was always infected, and after years of it not healing, he eventually took it out. But
screw that noise. This is dangerous.
And also, what's the point? Who's going to see it?
Yeah, exactly. If Yeah, nobody ever do this. Although one of these days I will be doing a full shamanistic body piercing act when I get paid a crap ton of money, where I will be doing this live and a couple other extreme ones. But I studied exactly what I'm looking for and what I'm not, and what to feel for. Like, I know when I push needles through my body, what certain things feel like, what I'm supposed to hit and what I'm not supposed to hit. And I know when I hit a certain thing to pull out and to reposition, and I know the proper equipment to use to get these things to work, and how to sterilize them before and after I do things.
But for you, you're not putting jewelry in and keeping them around.
Yeah, no, I'm putting in the spinal needles.
Yeah.
And putting it in once and then taking it out, and then
it's too much tissue. The risk for infection is insane. Now, when I had mine done, the first time we did it, seemed to be doing well, but every time I moved my tongue, that hole in the bottom kept getting bigger and bigger and started leaking out of it. It was kind of nasty, so I took it out. And when I tried it again, we went at a different angle. After about a week or so, my bottom teeth started getting ice cold, and it wouldn't go away until I took that piercing out. Sometimes you just got to listen to your body. When it tells you no, listen to it. So those are my top 5.
Exactly. Listen to your body.
That's scary.
It is going to tell you. Yep.
Your teeth only go ice cold when they're dead.
Yeah. Well, it was pushing on certain nerves that were causing the nerve endings to die. And so that's why he was getting that sensation from that.
Oh my God, that's scary.
Yeah. Which one am I looking for? It's going to be down here. Right here. Okay.
What's up, guys?
Here we go.
You're back in with a brand new video. Today's topic is going to be places you should.
Okay.
Now, you know that Maltias are not actual.
Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Proper training, licensing, or in general, they're not even real piercers.
Why does it sound so weird? Does it sound weird to anybody else?
No, God, please, no!
It's a bit muffled.
Okay.
Definitely want to avoid mall kiosks. Just trust me, want to avoid that. Number 2 on the list, like we said, is Walmart. Icing suppliers, again, like point to number 1, they are not trained. They use guns, and it's like going to damage your gear and pierce something. We want to avoid that. They're not going to be sanitary. They're not going to be clean. They're not going to have sterile instruments. They're going to have a sterile environment and stuff like that. It's a very, very big thing. We got a lot of complaints about these, but you guys don't. Number 3 on the list is flea markets, discount stores. Again, this one most.
Okay, so first are mall kiosks. Second is Walmart. Third is flea markets.
I mean, if you want to go to a smoke shop, you're trying to get like a blunt wrap, bong, or some stash thing, you know, one of those things. You're not going to go there for a nose piercing or a belly piercing. Of course, the person working by the counter probably does not train to get a piercing. They can probably tell you which pipe fits the best, but not what piercing works the best. You know what I'm saying? Or
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? If you go to a smoke shop, or which vape juice works with that? You know what I'm saying? So,
you know what I'm saying?
I want to avoid those at all costs. Flea markets, swap meets, discount, that. All right, number 4 on the list was tattoo parlors, with exceptions. Some tattoo parlors are also piercing studios combined, so they're really good. But you do want to make a research, and you do want to take your due diligence on which one is actually legitimate, because some tattoo parlors are just tattoo piercers, are just tattoo artists trying to make a quick buck, trying to make a quick, come up real quick. So if you go in there and they're not really experienced, not the licensing, kind of asking questions, so you don't get taken advantage of, and just get a really bad piercing, really horrible. I call it janky for some reason, like really messed up piercing. You want to avoid that.
I guess if you go to a tattoo place and there's not a sign in the window anywhere saying piercings, or it doesn't say tattoo and piercing shop, I guess that could be kind of a red flag. I know places that are kind of like that, where their body piercer is like mediocre or a very, very young or new, and that's where they're getting their experience to go to a better shop, and they'll eventually usually go to a better shop, and then that place will fill in a newbie body piercer. So if it doesn't say piercings anywhere outside, maybe be a little wary, and like he said, do the research. Just see who this person is. Look at their go in and ask their Instagram or some kind of social media to check out who they are, and look at their social media in front of them.
Oh God, yeah.
Don't be scared to do that. Look at their social media in front of them.
Also, Claire's Accessories is in that same realm with Walmart, right? I don't care what their shitty little voiceover says, going, Claire's is the #1 body piercer. That's because they're one of the only chain shops that do the body piercing.
Yeah. So
they
when he went over the
don't have
list,
the ability to be contested for it, because otherwise you're going to have piercing parlors everywhere fighting for that position. It's not a fucking award that's given out. They're lying to you by default.
Yeah, and that's what he went over in the beginning of that. So anything at the malls, don't go do at a mall.
Yeah, nope. There's accessory lies.
Yes.
They don't take proper steps like taking your ID, not waivers, giving proper answer and stuff like that. You just gotta do your research. There are some piercing/tattoo parlors or vice versa out there. Do your research and find the best one. Just come to the body. Next up is beauty salons. I'm talking about nail salons, hair salons, spas, stuff like that. You definitely don't want to get pierced here because they focus on hair, skin, and nails, not piercings. Well, your skin, but not really for the aesthetics like the actual piercing one. We're filming, Ariana! Like I was saying before, really interrupted by Ariana. Yeah, we had some people come in if they got pierced like a nail studio or a hair studio. They didn't even know for the love of God.
And then at-home piercings.
I see a lot of this on YouTube. It's so dumb. It's not safe. It's a completely wrong message.
Yeah, because it's not in a sterile environment. It's not in a place that you should. So really quick, it's really fast. I want to show the modern way that we do piercings now. And I need to get this equipment if I begin doing piercings again when I move to where my babe is, if that happens. So this is the newest way to body pierce. In the Europes, everybody already knows this, but in the Americas, it's still very new the way this is done. So watch. So what you do is you take a long piercing needle that is probably the exact gauge of the jewelry. Mm-hmm. And what you do is you have this plastic tube that you have that was on the needle, and you push it through. And then what the person does, and it doesn't show it in this, and I'm describing this because I was taught how to do it this way. You will cut this off as close as you can, and then you'll take the jewelry and you will push it through like this, like that.
Yeah.
So actually, you don't cut it until blah, blah, blah after whatever. And then whatever they were using, that is disposable. So this is disposable. Yeah. So they did that whole
some
thing.
piercers actually like cutting it.
Yeah.
Others don't mind. It depends. Like a lot of them don't like that little plastic knobble at the end just hanging free in the wind.
Yeah.
But it is effectively the same thing as they use in a catheter. That plastic thing is actually in there with the needle.
Yes.
The needle's what you use to pierce the skin, and then you remove the needle bit, so you've got the nice hollow plastic thing that you can then thread the jewelry through. And like Sim said, yes, there are different sizes, which can coincide with like the color of the little plastic knobble. And that's what's used. They're the same, literally the same thing used as the catheters when you get like your IV drip and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And
so the reason why we're doing this nowadays is because it causes less trauma. This is being stuck in there and you're able to put it in, and for some reason I don't know 100% why this causes less trauma to the body. We're finding that more piercings are not rejecting and are getting less inflamed and infected by doing this process. I do not.
So I don't know how it's done in America, because this is how all my piercings have always been done. It's always been this way.
So the way we had it done it in the Americas is with the piercing needle goes in and you put the jewelry in the piercing needle. Oh, so I know well, I don't know. And then so your piercing needle has to be like big enough to fit that in, just like the tube does. But you take that piercing needle and pushing it in, and then putting in the jewelry, and then taking out the needle. And half the time, the jewelry pops out.
Yeah.
So that's why
so we still have that happen with the jewelry. I've had it happen once or twice with me. But what it seems is with that is the metal needle is obviously hard. So you're having to put the jewelry in, and it's having a lot more wiggling and movement, whereas the Bioflex plastic
lets it go in whichever
flexible, so you can actually curve it with the curved barbell. It adapts to the shape of the jewelry, which makes for a much smoother transition.
So I'm gonna make a confession to everybody right now.
Somebody flip it.
Other than my tongue piercing, I have been extremely reckless, because my tongue piercing I got done in a tattoo and piercing shop. My belly button was done in a booth at a flea market. and my eyebrows were done. Oh, and my labrae was done in my friend's kitchen.
Most of my piercings were done in a shop, but okay, so this is how to blow out a tattoo. So this is what not to do when you're tattooing, and he'll show you, and you'll see it getting blown out in just a second. Most of them are already semi-blown out. That tattoo needle is way the fuck far out. It should not be that far out.
I was gonna say that's super freaking.
Because you should almost be able to put the tube up to the skin and have it barely coming out.
Right. Every time I've gotten a tattoo done, well, it's never been in a tattoo parlor.
So look at how deep.
Once again, it was in my friend's kitchen. All my tattoos.
So look at how deep he's running those lines. Hopefully he does it one more time.
That's scary.
See, he's going to put it all the... Come on, stop talking about it and just do it. And the angle he's doing it is also like a weird angle for sure. There's so much trauma to that. Come on, do another line. So he's putting that whole needle in. Oh, it was halfway in.
My ex didn't even do it this bad with his basically prison gun that he made with guitar wire and an old Walkman tape deck and...
Yeah, he's trying to do blowout lines. He's showing you what happens. Luckily, his friend let him do this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
like
so
I said,
bad.
that's worse than my ex with the damn prison gun. Jesus.
And rice. Okay. Let's see. Do we have a palette cleanser? Let's see.
I'm trying to find Spawn's tattoo gun. God damn it. I found a toy tattoo gun.
Okay.
Right? And it is literally a tattoo gun, but instead of loading up a needle in it, you load up a felt tip pen.
Nice.
And it just makes the little felt tip pen like bob out a little, and it does like, yeah, and like it actually does a tattoo. And looked at it, it's like they're selling it for £7, and it's like, oh my, you could actually turn this into a tattoo gun. Like you could actually make this a real tattoo gun. Like what the fuck? £7 tattoo gun that works on AA batteries.
Let's see. Sure, this has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but this is freaking awesome. We'll show that another time. Shit. Screw it. We're gonna go with Nathan Thompson getting owned by an old man. Hold on.
Space is real. It would exist
Okay.
atmosphere, right?
That works.
No, 1,000 times, no. Well, yes, but so what?
Okay, so Earth's atmosphere is part of space.
Hold on. Do. Because this old man fucking owns him. And I thought he was gone. He's back, everybody. Nathan Thompson's back.
Well, let me ask you this. If space is real, it would exist next to Earth's atmosphere, right?
No, 1,000 times, no.
Yes, Beck, and that could happen
yes,
too.
but
Nerve
so
damage for sure.
Okay, so
Earth's atmosphere is part of space.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
Space is a vacuum.
No, it's not.
Space is not.
No,
a
it's
vacuum.
not. There's a lot of.
So why do they need to wear spacesuits?
Because it's not the same environment that we live on here on the Earth.
Well, that is one way to say it.
It's a vacuum, 10 to the negative.
Why does a fish die when he's taken out of the water? Because he doesn't have this environment.
This man thinks like me.
Okay, but they say space is a vacuum. 10.
Who's they?
NASA.
Okay.
Space is a vacuum temperature -17.4. That's why they have to have airlocks in the ISS. That's why they wear space suits. That's why they have a Sandusky Research Center where they have a giant vacuum that's not even close to as powerful as the alleged space, vacuum of space.
You're pathetically predictable. Like a moth to the flame.
But space is a vacuum, sir. So you just said Earth's atmosphere is part of
space.
space?
Is not a vacuum. A part of space may be a vacuum, but the entirety of space is not a vacuum.
Okay, so a part of space. So would that part of space be next to Earth's atmosphere?
Some of it, I guess.
Some of it, okay. So can you have gas pressure without a container?
Probably not.
Probably not. That's the correct answer. Yeah, so Earth's atmosphere is pressurized. And you're saying it rests next to a vacuum.
Hey, Freak Joe, you're going nowhere.
It's gravity that holds it.
Gravity's not a physical. Gravity's not a physical container.
A straw man. Coming.
And here's another problem. Gravity is the strongest at Earth's surface. Allegedly. Let's pretend gravity's real. The farther you get away from Earth's surface, the weaker the gravity gets.
No.
You didn't hear that from me.
Do you know that you have a different weight at the North Pole than you do at the equator? I'm not
talking about...
Wait, we're
We
still
stream
on
like
Earth.
almost every day,
at the
XD.
equator, you don't weigh the same as you do at the North Pole.
I blame the government.
It has nothing to do with
It has everything to do with what you're talking about.
Gravity is allegedly the
Why would that work on a flat Earth, you punk?
But not necessarily.
Yeah,
The farther you
actually,
get away,
we stream either on this channel or on my channel.
Yeah, and then there's a couple other. If you go into the description, if you sub to all of us and hit the bell notifications, there's one of us streaming once a day, pretty much, if not a couple of us streaming in a day.
And I am thinking of getting back to reading the spooky stories again.
Thank you.
Yes, that would be awesome.
I've been begging you for that.
Yes.
I'll do it because I love you, Queen. Okay.
Thank you. Well,
I'm
and
thinking
the
about
prince has
bringing-
been wanting to.
And I've been thinking about having Cookie coming back. So we're trying to get Cookie to come back. So we'll see. Okay, here we go.
I say, stop whining.
Well, then why is it I can stand up on the top of this thing and I can drop a 100-pound weight and I can drop a penny at the same time and they'll both hit the ground at the same time?
Science! Fuck yeah!
Why is that? It's a relative medium that's less dense than the object you're dropping, and they travel at the same rate of speed.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
All right, everybody. I think it's about that time. That was about all. Oh, of course, now Julian shows up, of course. Yes, thank you, Jasper, for posting
You are
that.
extremely
Everybody
late,
good
Julian.
there. Yeah.
He's up later than I think I've ever seen him.
Yeah, what are you doing up? Did the prostitute just leave your hotel room, your house, your whatever, wherever you live? You kick her out, gave her the bus fare. All right. Whoa, there was a 6-foot snake. You're working on your truck and heard a noise, and you looked up, and it was a snake about 6 foot long. Was it poisonous or not?
I'm going to be a dick. Venomous.
Venomous. Unfortunately, I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, and I can't get stuff through YouTube's. But if you have any of the other things, Cash App or Venmo or anything like that, let me know and I'll share that. Or you can go and get some of my merchandise. The pinned message is my merch. So you can go there and buy my towels, pint glasses, masks, other things, cell phone cases, all kinds of stuff like that.
And then he gets something and you get something.
Exactly. So Julian says that he slept much of the day, so here he is. Well, I guess you're going to have to bug us in the Discords, because that's where we're going to be heading right now. So everybody, I'm guessing we're going to head over to Vila's Discord in a little minute. And
or the dungeon.
Sorry, Dungeons Queen's Discord. Sorry about that.
Wait, what? Mine?
Yeah, let's go to Vila's. Let's just raid Vila tonight. No, we go to Queen's Discord and do something over there. I'm sure, probably play games. I would like to play some cards.
Yeah, we can play some games. We can play some cards.
Yeah, I definitely like to play some cards. So if you don't have you are not in Queen's Discords. If you would like to post that, Baby Cheeks, you can totally do that.
And I don't know if Julian is.
Don't let him.
Mark. XD doesn't have Discord, they said. And we know Uncle Beck doesn't have Discord.
Okay, well, I don't know how to help you all with that.
Simple. Get Discord.
Yeah, I mean, Discord is very easy to use.
Julian, you have Discord, right?
Yeah, he's on Discord. That's how I send him fucking links for fucking Steam. I mean, the streams.
All right, I'll find him.
That's how I stream on him. Never mind. That's something completely different. Okay, so everybody, if baby, you want to do that, everybody go and add me on Instagrams and TikTok and the other social medias, the Face to Ms. Books and all that stuff. And yes, I'm not the only one who is streaming on you. Yes, we usually do a whole stream together on. Never mind. We'll talk about it later. Thank you very much.
What the hell is his name on here?
It's Lizard. It's literally, I think, exactly what it is here. Anyways, thank you all very much. We'll see you in the next episode of The Things. Tomorrow is Crazy Shite, and we're going over white nationalists or American nationalists, evangelical furries, the history of QAnon, and one other thing. So we're going to go over more like religious-y type, like conspiracy cult topics for this one, because I felt like we needed to go over some of these topics, because I can't believe there's still some people going around and pretending there aren't Nazis still, or there aren't fucking people that are like anti other races and shit in the Americas. So I felt like we needed to talk about this. So thank you all very much. Good meeting you, XD. We'll see you around, I'm sure. Please subscribe, like, and share, and hit the bell notifications and all that fun stuff. In the description is all the rest of the stream pervs. So go down there and subscribe to all of them as well, because we stream on each other's channels. So you'll see us all around, on top of each other, inside of each other. And I think that's all the positions I can think of. So thank you all very much. We'll see you next time. Bye.